Okay, we're live. I welcome everybody. So this is the new Cartridge Club Hangouts channel. It's going to be dedicated specifically to the weekly hangout that we have every Tuesday, or whether it's Tuesday going forward, and ensuring that you can always find a common location for this hangout at all times. I already have people. Hi, Yoshi. How are you? You're muted.
What? Sorry, I was muted.
Hey, no, you're all right. Okay, good.
I figured you wouldn't want the echoing audio to come right back.
No, that's good, but at least it lets me know that I'm audible, because
yeah,
I've had issues with that in the past. So
what? Where you start the show and you're here for 10 minutes and talking, and then someone tells you they can't hear anything.
Yeah, you've been. Yeah, it's kind of defeating a little bit.
No, been there, done that.
Let me just get this. Did the club tweet go out like 15 minutes ago to say that we were? Did it say something about it at that point? Is that how you found that?
The club tweet just went out. I noticed it because the Discord thing popped up on my laptop.
Ah, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, so we decided to move this thing over.
No more Twitter links, huh?
No, I just sent the Twitter one, but since you were here already, I figured I'd save the characters.
Well, I mean,
no, I still think sending it out via Twitter is a good idea, at least in the current, with the current state of things. I think it's fine. At some point in the future, we may decide to say, hey, the invite is, in the Discord only or something like that. And I always want it to be available.
Get back to that incident that happened like a year or two ago.
Oh, sure. We at least have some countermeasures to prevent that now that we understand what some of the existing benefits to Google Hangouts are. But I should say hello, LK. Thank you for confirmation on us being live. I appreciate that, because first stream on this channel, and I wanted to make sure that it was, at least things go smoothly for the most part. So, but no, we wanted to do this so that, if I need a week off, or if I can't make it, or if I have that week where I was super late, the Hangout doesn't need to hinge on my availability. The Hangout can happen, whether it's Ryan or Fitnat or somebody else. I think Fitnat actually has volunteered to kind of help facilitate some of this, which is super helpful, because over the next couple weeks, once I close on this house, it's definitely going to be a situation where I may not be here every Tuesday, So.
Oh, you probably won't be here for a couple of Tuesdays when that happens.
It's possible. I mean, you guys could watch the process, right? But I probably can't stay for 3 hours, right? Like, probably have other things I should be doing.
Well, you'll be sitting there going, well, I could sit here for 3 hours, or I could pack up my stuff for 3 hours. If I pack up my stuff for 3 hours, I can move sooner. I should probably do that.
Yep.
At least that's what happens with my brain. Most of
it's packed. It's just now. LK's from Germany. Well, that's awesome. Thank you for joining us, LK. And hi, Derek.
Morning in Germany. Take it.
I guess it would. No, it'd be super late.
Either super late or super early. I don't know. I don't know what the German time zone is.
It's super late for us. It's super early for those from Germany. That's awesome. Yeah. But no, I love the Hangout, and there's nothing that's going to keep me away from being on the Hangout long term. But I don't want I don't want to have weeks where we don't have one, or we have to scramble to try and figure out whose channel it's going to be on. You did that once, right, for Paul?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was just,
and it's like, where is it?
Yeah.
It turned into a giant guessing game of like, okay, I'm here. We're live. We're waiting. Where is everybody?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Speaking of him, haven't seen him in a long time.
Paul? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Kitty had a good appointment.
Seems happy. As always.
Yeah. No, that's good. She did surprisingly well. So she usually does. Like vet appointments for some reason, like she can be super fussy around, people in her territory, but the moment that you put her in the vet, she's, very
she goes to being, it's not my territory. This is someone else's.
Super timid. Yeah, super timid, for sure. It's
I think a lot of cats do that though, because I know whenever I've had to move cats to a new house before, they're always like super, super timid right when they get there. Usually.
Yeah.
Like that super nervous, timid, and like, where am I? Why the heck am I here? Where's my old things? I don't know.
Yeah, and then my son had to watch her get shots, and he's never gotten shots before, he's never seen somebody else get shots before, so I think he was a little spooked by the whole thing.
Only some sharp needles.
Yeah, but like I actually watched him like physically cringe over it, and I think it actually kind of scared him. Like he thought that the cat was going to be in pain or something.
Whose Tribble is that?
But yeah, that's my Tribble. What's this one?
Oh my goodness, what a purr. It's a squeaky purr.
It's a legendary purr.
She is legendary.
It's only been on the
she doesn't
since these things started.
She only she only meows when we've been gone for an extended period of time. And, like we come home, like we were out of town over the weekend, and we came home, and the moment we get in the door, that she's I think checking to see if it's us at the door. But that's it. Like she's super quiet in all other situations, and then there's this very, very loud purring. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just
I Tesseract.
I was just on vacation for about a week and out of the apartment, and I got home, and my cat didn't leave my side for 2 days.
Mm-hmm. I think that's kind of what's happening right now, because we just got back yesterday. So
that, or they're really upset with you and like want you to pay attention to them, but at the same time trying to like stay away from you and act all mad.
I was actually expecting her to revenge pee on my bed, because she did that the first couple of nights that I got her, and I knew another cat that would do that after her owner came back from like a long vacation. So I was kind of expecting that, but no, she was just rubbing all over me and cuddly and all that.
But I would. There we go. Figure this 1 week we're gonna have the little bit of carryover of the people who didn't hear the multiple times that I said, "Hey, we're shifting this thing over here."
Yeah, I was just debating what I was going to do tonight, and I'm like, hey, why not join the Hangout?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. Yeah.
That's what we're here for. Your last resort for entertainment.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, well, that's the thing is that people come on here and they play their own games, but they still are here for the conversation. It's. I mean, the thing that I won't do is throw my PSVR headset on and do that.
Well, yeah.
That'd probably be a little counterintuitive, unless I were actually streaming it in the process, which I'm not set up to do on this computer specifically. So
I'm actually probably going to do some PSVR streaming soon. There's a set of games coming out that I've been in the Discord for like, gotta be like 6 months now. And they use the PSVR and the Move controller and all that. So I'm gonna see if they get some like pre-release codes for it for the PlayStation Network. I might get one, but otherwise I'll probably get it right on release and play it a little bit, which I normally don't do, but I'll probably do it in this case.
Yeah, I owe an update on my like maybe a part 2 on my PSVR video because that video was far and away like blew my mind as far as what kind of response I got out of that, which is awesome because it was totally a last minute kind of thought of, hey, let's just do this. I've had this thing for a couple of weeks and let's just talk about it. And now I have a couple of I have a couple of people who were like, "You gonna give us an update on where you're at on this?" Like, I was like, "Oh yeah, I probably should do that."
After you play all the games that I told you to play, and
all of them. Well, I mean, the list is huge.
Yeah.
The list of games that I got out of that recommendation thing was significant, and I have delved into a couple. Like I played through the London Heist.
Good.
That was good. It was a good
Yeah.
time.
They are. Like
I felt weird. I felt really weird. Like the first 5 minutes of that, I felt really weird. Just because I'm like, I shouldn't be afraid of this person, but I am.
Well,
it's just like you just kind of backing off a little bit. I'm like, wait, what am I doing? Like,
did you try Rec Room at all?
I have it downloaded, but I haven't tried it yet.
Okay, I tried it during the beta, and it was actually pretty fun. They've expanded considerably since then, but I went back after my initial try of it, and I started getting social phobic pangs. I was actually getting anxiety from the number of people in this virtual room, and I shut it off, and I'm like, that's very interesting. I'm going to have to analyze this.
I'll have to give that a try. They just made that announcement. Was it yesterday?
That they're maybe a couple days ago. Thing.
Yeah. Yes, this is true. I don't know what I think about that yet. I still need to even just play it to see what the games are that are there, because obviously there's a couple gallery shooters and stuff, right?
It is set up like a rec center. Like one of the best bits that I felt. I mean, when you go in there, you're in like there's a gymnasium and a couple of other open areas. I told them during the beta, you should really pair up with Wizards of the Coast and make it so people can have like virtual D&D games in this rec center.
That would be cool.
It would have been cool, but one of my favorite bits about it was this one thing where you get 3 or 4 people together, and you've all got what look like Nerf weapons. You can either have a sword and shield or a bow, and you go into an area and you start like shooting down enemies that pop out. Well, the great part about this is that it looks like someone decorated the hallway of a school or a rec room. You see lockers on the walls. The enemies look like cardboard cutouts pasted on little like drone machines.
Nice.
Things swing down from the ceiling on a rope. It was really kind of neat. I loved the aesthetic of it, and it was pretty fun too.
I'll have to, the next time I sit down and throw the headset on for a while, I'll have to do that. I tried Skyrim with the locomotion, figured out, and I did okay. It took a little bit of getting used to, because like I was moving forward and then you just tilt the left stick to kind of trend one way or the other, and I kind of had to figure that out. The turning is still, I feel like I want to slow the turning down a little bit more.
I have
so that when I'm hitting the
turn all the way down.
All the way down. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm maybe at like 25% at this point. Because I would just rather that motion be slow than to have it be too. Doesn't need to be too abrupt.
But on the spectrum of things you can do in Skyrim VR that you can't do when you're just using a regular controller, is I would be walking down the path, some random wolf would come at me, and I'd just reach out with my right hand and zap him with a firebolt or lightning bolt and never even break my stride. Or I'd hear one behind me, reach over my shoulder and fire behind me. And I'd just hold the button down until I heard a yelp and just never even stop moving.
Huh. Interesting. I like it. Yeah, I'm glad that I didn't just base it off of the first tutorial stretch. I ended up doing the whole Dragon Claw mission before I put things down. I find that like when I'm like 90 minutes to 2 hours in, I start to just get a little in like the top of my throat, and I usually figure that that's about time to put it down. I assume that will. Yeah, it's not.
I feel hungry, like oddly hungry, when I know that I need to stop. So it's like, why am I? That's really weird. But
yeah, there's some kind of strange digestive thing going on there.
Yeah. One kind of fun thing though is I know you were not happy with the teleport thing, and I usually don't like that either. But with Doom VFR, you actually use both. You have both smooth movement and a teleport ability, because instead of glory kills like you have in Doom 2016, you have telefrags. So when you've damaged an enemy enough, you push a button, it brings up a teleport reticle, you aim it at the guy, and you teleport over and explode them.
Okay.
So
that's instead of the glory kills, or do they still have like standard glory kills in there too?
It's instead of the glory kills, but it's really satisfying.
Okay. Well, that's good. I actually have that on the way, because Newegg had a deal. So
cool. Well, the games that I'm looking at for next week that are coming out are both for PSVR AIM. One is called Wraith. It's kind of a wave shooter. And the other one is called The Perfect Sniper.
I heard about that one. Yeah.
Yep. And so those are two to look forward to. But I have to say, Farpoint is a fantastic experience for being a pack-in game.
Yeah, I want that. I just need to figure out how to make that. I feel like that's a post-move purchase for me. Just
fair enough.
I need to kind of take it easy.
It's kind of
I also
amazing.
need
I mean,
to plan ahead. Yeah.
You know, I was expecting, you know, okay, well, I'll give them a couple of suggestions, but it was kind of amazing how many games that I was really excited to recommend for PSVR after only a year and a half of its release. That's actually a really good run so far.
Yeah, I'm pleasantly happy with it to this point, and I it's one of those things where I need more people to try it so that more people can understand.
Right. Yep.
Because I can't describe what even the experiences that people say are not great experiences, like the Scavenger's Odyssey on the VR world. That almost got me in the stomach.
I can see that.
Especially the jumping parts almost got me.
And there are some times when you're like teleporting to a surface where you're starting here and then you're teleporting and your kind of orientation is completely different.
Gravity shifting. It's like Prey, 2006? The first Prey, not the most recent Prey. They had a lot of that sort of gravity bending stuff, but you weren't in a VR headset at that point.
Right.
Yeah. But no, I'll have to save that for a proper video, but yeah, I've been enjoying it. Obviously, I wouldn't have gone and bought more VR games if I wasn't digging it so far. And I had my wife do the shark encounter.
Yeah.
She wanted out just because she's like, this is too much. This is too much. It was maybe 3/4 of the way through like the major point of that. And she's just like, I need out. I'm like, okay, get you out.
So I'm just now realizing that there are two very Mario-ish games on the Playroom VR. One feels like a Mario 64 level, and the other, I'm just now realizing, is very Luigi's Mansion. And both are multiplayer. So you have one person controlling something on the TV screen and one person in the headset doing something else. And they're just about I'd say every one of those games is fun. Some of them are actually even better with a full 5 players. But, you know, it's also free. Can't argue with that.
Free is good. Free is definitely good. Hi, Fitnat. How are you?
Hey, how's it going? I was keeping quiet during the VR talk. Didn't have much to add. I'm good. Slightly late to the hangout, but I made it.
You're fine. You made it. Hey, that is no problem. Yeah. New time, new place. Should probably say hi to some people in the chat. Self-Destructo's here. Cartridge Fun. Bass Guy. Hi, guys. Spread the word. This is the new spot for the Hangouts. Will be, as much as I love having them on my own channel, this makes more sense, I think, in the long run. So,
hey, man, you know, you could post signs everywhere, and nobody would read a single freaking sign, and still ask you anyway. That's what happens at my college.
Exactly. Well, yeah, it's like, you know, don't mind the like 3 tweets about it, and I put it into 2 different videos, and yeah. And BCom, yes, this is the official mascot of the Cartridge Club Hangouts. This is my cat, whose name is Chicago. And she wears white socks, but we don't hold that against her. Too funny. But yeah,
the
she'll
purring
hang around
always
for
comes
quite a
through
bit.
the mic.
Always, yes.
That is how you know the
All
sound is
the time.
working.
This is true.
I was playing Bridge Crew with a friend, and when you're in the world, anything that comes over your microphone, your character starts moving their mouth for it. And his cat jumped up and started purring right into the microphone. So I'm seeing his mouth move with his cat's purring. And it was just killing me.
That's awesome.
And it got worse when one of the other people that was playing, her dog started playing with a squeaky toy. So she's
still, sound like worse. That sounds like
there going,
much
squeak,
better.
Squeak, squeak, squeak.
That's too good. That's too good. Yeah, I'm I want Bridge Crew. I need to. If it was $30 instead of $50, then I would probably jump on it now.
It frequently goes on sale. But I don't know if that might change now that they put out the next generation pack.
Sure.
That just released today.
Okay.
But yeah, it might spark interest to the point where they aren't trying to heavily discount it like they have been. But you never know.
Yeah, I mean, for any of the stuff I'm looking for digitally, I most certainly want to wait for a sale. Like, my wife said she wants, because I had her try the static demo.
Oh yeah,
and that she got on board with it. She worked through. I made her work through the frustration, because at one point she's just like, I forgot what buttons do what. I'm like, then just try it.
Just keep going. Just keep going.
Just keep trying. Just look at it and do things until those connections come back, because this puzzle will be nothing like the next puzzle.
I also love how it constrains your hands in game just like they are in real life, because they're around a controller. So like in game, your hands are inside that box. And so it all makes sense to your head. You're not like trying to figure, your brain isn't going, this doesn't seem right.
Yeah. And then as you move the controller, like the hands, that the box hands move as if it's.
I know.
It's a really cool concept. I really like the kind of implementation that they did there. I want to do the keep talking.
Oh man,
talking and no one explodes.
That has a ridiculous difficulty jump. Like you'll play the first 2 or 3, and you'll go through them fairly smoothly, and then it just gets ridiculous really fast. But it's still a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
sorry if sorry to cut you off, Yoshi, but sorry if the microphone spiked a minute ago when I started coughing. I badly mistimed that drink of water.
I did not even notice it.
Okay, good.
Now I have tea.
And I should say hi BCom and hi Retro Revolutions. Yes, this is the new Hangout spot. Will be this channel moving forward. So be sure to hit the subscribe button. You can hit the bell if you want, but just know that we'll be going live every Tuesday night. And we'll be plastering social media like we usually do.
Hey, you can't put up enough glowing neon signs that says it's moved over here.
This is true. No, I know.
Well, you can. It's just there's diminishing returns after a while.
They still don't pay attention to them.
Right. So
well,
one
the first
is where you start diminishing your returns.
Well, some of them might.
They'll
I'm
figure it
here,
out.
aren't I?
It's true.
I saw the link and I'm like, oh, hey, I'll give that a shot.
You're too hot.
Yoshi, how's your shoulder going?
Better.
If you care to share, if you don't want to share, that's fine. But you have. Jared was asking.
Better.
I'm asking too.
Still painful. I'm at the point where I can like move it around with only moderate pain most of the time.
That's
It
good.
still sucks, but like in the process of letting this one rest, I like pulled stuff in my right shoulder.
That's usually how that goes.
You're just gonna even them out now. At least your knee doesn't. At least you haven't had like your knees start to go out because of your shoulder.
Oh, that already happened. Well, I finally made it back to a yoga class, so I'm gonna start going to those again, and hopefully a lot of these problems just sort of, work themselves out. Pretty much what the doctors told me is, it's gonna take time. You'll be okay. Come back if it gets worse. If it gets better, don't bother.
If it falls off, we'll recommend a specialist.
No, if it gets worse, then go see this orthopedic specialist. Or whatever they're called. If it gets better, don't worry about it. We're getting better, so I'm thinking don't worry about it, but yeah. I mean, I go see my doctor, he's just going to tell me to go to physical therapy anyway.
You'll probably just say, can I just keep going to yoga?
Yeah.
I don't see how yoga wouldn't be considered physical therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about half the same. It's about half the physical therapy.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get that whole like touchy-feely massage, heat treatment,
fair enough,
electric treatment, whatever.
Well, yoga would definitely help if you don't need the other thing.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you can, of course, just keep going to yoga and see if that helps, and then if it doesn't, get the other thing.
Well, yeah. But yeah. Oh well. I'm wondering if having my arm in a sling did more damage than good, because like where the strap was is kind of sore now.
Yeah.
It's weird how these things work. Like here, cure this with something that's going to hurt you in another way. Congratulations. Did avalanche effect. The moral of the story here is don't ignore your body for like months on end to focus on college.
Yeah.
Because
it's doing better, though.
It doesn't end well.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not.
Also, carrying around like a ton of textbooks is not fun.
That probably didn't help.
That's half what happened.
Yeah,
also,
that makes
I'm
sense.
thinking about going to see a chiropractor because what the hell, that can only help. Though it could hurt.
Yeah. I mean, an adjustment here or there isn't going to be, isn't going to be bad for you, in my opinion.
Well, I probably need it though. So.
Yeah, you've had several like back and neck and otherwise problems, so that's probably not a horrible plan.
Hey, I will swear by chiropractors. I was going to be in a bad spot if I didn't get adjusted in like early high school. Yeah.
Well, I had a pretty bad neck compression injury like 4 years ago that I never really dealt with. So, yeah. That's also coming back to bite me. That's half the problem. Don't let these things go on untreated, kids. Only bad things happen. They don't magically get better on their own.
It's an ounce of prevention for a pound of cure.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I had a double curvature of my spine. It was like on the verge of an S. And so they said that if I hadn't have gotten adjusted, and if I hadn't stopped playing football, like I stopped playing football too my sophomore year, I would be 6 inches shorter than I am now.
Wow.
Like, yeah, they said I probably would have topped out at 5'10" instead of where I'm at now. So I feel like I made the right decisions.
You could afford to lose 6 inches though, Musty.
I suppose.
You're like 6'9".
I am not 6'9". Matt Bandy is 6'9".
Is Musty one of those people where I'm going to meet him and have to look up?
Probably, unless you're 6'9".
See, that's the secret. He's actually 2 hobbits stacked on top of each other.
More like 3.
And just wearing a trench coat or something. Yes, we're happy. I mean, I'm happy to meet you. No, that was just my stomach grumbling.
Right. And the big fake glue-on mustache, right?
Yes.
Gotta have that. I'm trying to think of what is it? The Little Rascals that did that on more than one occasion. There's an old reference.
Not if you watch the movie. Then it's only kind of old.
I guess. Yeah. It's like Sandlot old.
Yeah. What's the new channel name, Musty, for the YouTube channel?
It is Cartridge Club Hangouts. If you look in the chat, you can see the name.
Okay.
Or you can look at everywhere that I put links to this channel.
Yeah, but this is just a lot faster if I asked you as opposed to searching stuff.
Dallas, there are blinking red neon signs. You're ignoring the blinking red neon signs.
Easier to ask than do literally anything else.
All the crumbs on the ground, and he's like, "Where's the bread?"
I didn't see it in this chat here, so.
So one thing, I'm just going to say this now. For some reason, I don't have the control box on the left like I normally do.
The control room?
You know which one I'm talking about? Yeah, I don't have that. I do have the ability to stop the broadcast.
I have the control room and the Hangout toolbox, but I can't access control room, but I can do the toolbox.
I can access the cameraman,
but
I don't have the control room, so I can't present people, or maybe I can't. I can't mute people, except for myself. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, if you
I feel like it should be there.
Control, then if you can allow that, then I can do it.
But I don't have. Maybe I go to your profile. No. Okay, we'll figure that out. It's all right.
Week
This
one
means that if we have to cut abruptly. Yeah, one minor difficulty. Anyways, we figured there had to be some kind of hiccups, right?
Yep.
So we should talk about whether 2021 is an appropriate timeline for the remainder of the PS4.
Well,
I'm sticking with
I will
20.
say this. What?
I think 2020 is reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They tend to go with 7-year console cycles. That'll be 7 years.
It just happens to have gone pretty fast this last 7 years, right?
Well, part of the problem is that the first 2 or 2.5 years kind of stunk on all fronts. You know, that's hyperbolic a little bit, but it's. I mean,
It's just
they
not
didn't
rolling.
pick up steam.
Yeah.
And not from
I
a
mean
sales
now, not from a sales perspective. True.
Yeah, the PS4 was their fastest selling console now, and there are a lot of people. Part of the reason there are so many remakes is because there are so many people who are new to the PlayStation ecosystem with the PS4. They didn't have a PS3, and sometimes not even a PS2.
So it's really good they included that
Matrix says,
compatibility. Oh, wait a minute.
Don Matrix says you're welcome.
Yeah, but about that backwards compatibility, that's probably really difficult considering Sony continuously change the architecture of their consoles.
Yeah, it's really incredibly difficult considering Xbox pivoted to include their previous console generations halfway through the life cycle of their console that wasn't built for it.
Well, but that's another thing, though, why it was easier for Xbox to do that than the PlayStation is the PlayStation went from the Cell processor to a fairly normal AMD 64-bit processor. Yeah. So they would have to do some really heavy emulation there to get it to even work. With the Xbox to Xbox 360 to Xbox One, it's always been more of a PC architecture, which is why I'm sitting here going, why can't they be fully backward compatible? I mean, they basically had something similar to Windows 8 running on the 360. They had the reason it's called an Xbox is because it used DirectX in the first incarnation. Yeah. And the Xbox One is just basically a Windows 10 machine. So it's like, why can't they just emulate this all the way back?
Well, I think some of that has to do with some of it is like third parties agreeing to letting it be backwards compatible in the first place. And then I think we're starting to see. Oh, what was I going to say? There's been. It's like as you modernize a certain engine, it's like, does that all of a sudden enable you to quickly port over, or like quickly create that link to everything else that use the same engine? Like if we cracked Unreal 3, can everything that's Unreal 3 be easily backwards compatible? I feel like the answer is potentially, but I don't know what that.
Well, thing of it from a little more technical aspect, not too technical though. You'd have to, even with the old emulators, they still can't get all the, say, Super Nintendo games working right, even on modern PCs, which have like really, really vastly superior hardware. You still have old consoles that can't be emulated quite right. So, like, and even if most of the games still work, you still run into a couple that don't work quite right. So I'm sure that issue is still there on the new consoles, like, because I'm pretty sure that's what they're doing, is emulating the old console in a way. Because that's kind of what you have to do.
Yeah, and that's the thing though, is, I mean, if you even look at PCs, sometimes games that were made to run on Windows 95 won't run on Windows 10. And that's
most games made to run
basically hasn't changed.
When most of the games to run on Windows 95 don't run on Windows 10.
Yeah, X-Wing versus TIE Fighter until the recent re-release on Steam and Good Old Games. I have the disc for it. I couldn't get it to run because it looked for DirectX 3.
Yep.
Not 3 or greater. DirectX 3 precisely. It would not install otherwise, right? And part of the reason good job programmers. That's why we skipped Windows 9, because so many programmers had used basically Windows 9 and then an asterisk for checking to see what version of Windows it was, that they had to skip 9 completely because of sloppy programming in stuff for Windows 95 and 98. So that's why they jumped.
I didn't know that.
Then again, Microsoft has a very long history of sloppy programming.
Then what's Apple's excuse?
Oh, I don't care.
They have cats.
I wasn't paying attention for a second. I was looking at the chat. Apple's excuse for what now?
For skipping 9.
Oh.
I mean, technically they haven't. They haven't truly, because that's the iPhone X. It's not truly iPhone 10 yet. So it could just be. It could be them adopting the Pokemon naming conventions, and
or my just beat it ABC philosophy. It's just Xbox X or iPhone X. There you go. Not really 10, just X.
Well, the next one is going to be the iPhone 1X.
There you go. Or the XS model.
No iPhone people. iPhones cost too much.
The XS, I think Apple in general is that already.
Go.
So
nice. Me, I'm going Sony all the way. I've got my Xperia XZ here.
I got a Nokia again. Nokia.
Did you get the Snap-on projector for that yet? Did they make a projector
for this?
On that? Yeah. Can't you snap on like additional pieces, or am I thinking of a different?
That's a different.
That's the Moto. That's the Moto.
Yeah, this is like the Nokia phone. It's basically their like mid-range budget phone. That's miles faster than my flagship phone from 2014. Rule of thumb: if your phone is older than 2 years old, it's probably a piece of shit.
Well, that's one good thing about, I love the Sony phones. I've been buying them for years, even though I can't get them on contract anymore. But they flat out state they will support them with software updates for 2 years, and they're usually really well on top of it as far as when an Android security update releases and when it's pushed to my phone.
This one's Android One. It pushes everything straight to the phone. It doesn't have any Nokia apps on it. No Nokia branding, nothing. The only Nokia branding is on the start screen and in the ringtones and stuff. So there's no bloat. It's just Android.
Yeah, Sony's pretty close to stock Android too, which is another reason I like it. They've also they actually have people from their mobile group on XDA developers. So they've actually gotten a lot of back and forth with the enthusiast community to improve their phones. I think the only reason they're not more popular than they are is because they don't go through any of the carriers to offer their phones along with contracts. And probably if they hoard themselves out like that a little bit more, they'd get more traction.
Dude, I go to a carrier store and all I see is Apple and Samsung for the most part.
And LG.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't like any of these phones. All of these phones look like crap.
Yep.
Or have a bunch of things I don't want.
Pretty much.
I just want to spend a few $100s on a phone. By a few hundred, I mean less than 3. Because any more than that, and it's just why? It's going to be outdated in 2 years anyway. What's the point?
Yeah. I love that my current phone is more powerful than my old laptop. And my old laptop was no slouch.
It's got an octa-core in it. What the heck?
I know. This thing has an 8-core processor on it. It's a 1080p screen. Got discrete or got a 3D or got a graphics accelerator in it, and it's just insane.
What's a computer?
This.
It's the thing yeah, there you go. The thing you're probably using Hangouts for.
Or that thing you watch YouTube and do the Twitter and do all your internet looking things on.
Oh, you mean my TV?
Oh yeah, you can do that on there now too.
I just recently got a smart TV, so it's like, wow, cool. I've got basically like a 65-inch Android tablet in my living room.
You know it's generally a bad idea? Stuff like smart bulbs. Because you need an internet-connected light bulb. This is what you need in your life. Or how about an internet-connected kettle? Because instead of getting up and walking over there to turn on a kettle, I want to use my phone.
That thing you would have to do anyway in order to, have water in it.
Does the internet pour the water in the kettle? Dang it, where's that button?
Only if you've appropriately built the appropriate Doc Brown mechanisms to get the water from here to here.
I couldn't think of the word for that.
Rube Goldberg.
Goldberg machine.
Yeah, you built a giant Rube Goldberg machine. Man spends hours
and then you told Alexa
machine to drink single cup of coffee, single cup of tea.
See, I love my Hue light bulbs. It part of it is just so if I'm in bed already, I don't have to go over and shut the light off again and stumble my way back to bed. But it's also come in handy for, just kind of making sure that all the lights are off at night and, having it on a timer so it looks like I'm home when I'm not. That kind of thing.
Yeah, I can understand the smart connected switches and power bars more than like the actual bulbs. I don't know what the difference would actually be, but that just makes more sense because
that would be more secure because
you're out less money if the bulb fails if it's a normal bulb than if it's a smart bulb.
Yeah. Like it would to me, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking too. It would make that's a great idea. It would make more sense to automate the entire home itself.
Yeah, or just like the light switch, just the light switch.
Of course, then you've also got perks like being able to change the color.
Wanky.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's probably more practical for regular use just to switch out the light switch.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's practical and then there's fun.
I don't know.
Or you could take the
why.
You could take the Michael Scott approach if you're an Office fan, and have a George Foreman grill next to your bed with bacon on it when you go to sleep, and then you plug it in when you wake up, and then you go back to sleep, and then you wake up to bacon.
Nice.
And or burn your foot.
No, you go to sleep.
I've got a cat, that would never work.
You go to sleep. You wake up to the smell of rotting bacon. You cook said rotting bacon. Fall asleep.
What bacon rots over the span of like 6 to 8 hours?
I don't know.
Salted pork?
Yeah, someone who doesn't eat salted pork, I guess.
Someone who doesn't eat salted pork. I bet the cat would just pull that bacon right out of that grill.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, no, I couldn't do that.
Yeah, you're not worried about the safety of the cat so much as the safety of the bacon.
I'd have to think about that one.
Yeah, how much do you care about your cat?
Yeah.
Oh, that smells awesome. No, get your paw off the Foreman grill. She gets bad enough when she's getting hungry. She starts knocking over all the trash cans. She doesn't try taking anything out of them. She just starts knocking them over as a message.
Yeah.
Dude, cats do some crazy stuff when they want to send you messages. And it's nothing that makes any sense.
That's the weird part about this one, though, is that too often it does. Like, she'll hop up onto the desk and start batting the laser pointer around.
Oh,
it's like,
so you say,
okay, I can point.
A laser point.
Exactly.
So I have a question. If anyone can help me identify what this is.
A race car.
It is a it transforms.
Okay,
I don't know.
Is it a GoBot?
I don't. That's what I'm wondering if it is. I can't find any markings.
No markings, huh?
Can you transform it?
No marking. Yes. I had to actually figure this out.
Doesn't look like any transformer I'm familiar with, but it could just be a different brand of robot.
I gotta turn that around.
Through the door, up the river, around the corner, and into the hobbit hole. There we go.
What is the most entertaining thing with Transformers? To look them up on, like, the Goodwill page and just see how poorly the volunteers transformed it. I have seen some sad Transformers on those.
You have some very esoteric hobbies, Fitnat.
Hey, have you looked up Transformers on the Goodwill website? It's a trip.
Looking up anything on the Goodwill website's probably a trip.
I can't even order anything. I'm in Canada. I just look for the funny stuff.
You must be bored.
I haven't looked in a while, to be fair. But I did find that that was a good source for like anything pre-NES if you're looking for that, because like no one is really looking for it, but they get a bunch of it.
Here you go.
Yeah, that doesn't look very GoBot-ish or Transformers-ish.
That might be a dollar store Transformer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
and that's fine. So I went to
a little complicated, but not like super.
It was. Well, I mean, when we got it, it was in this configuration, and I had no instructions. It was just in a plastic bag. And so I needed to, like, thankfully, so I got this. We went to Omaha, and so I hit up the store that I like to go to called Pop Culture Exchange, which I've been there a couple times before. I took my son this time, who walked in and was just, look at all this stuff. Like, I see Ninja Turtles. I see he only calls them rescue bots. He will only refer to them as rescue bots. And so he kept pointing at like the Titans Return, like $15 Transformers, which part of me is like, well, I'm gonna get it into something. It might as well be something that is at least made well enough. And but then like he started to point. He pointed at, I can't even remember which model it was. It was the Megatron that turns into like a greenish tank.
I do not know.
Okay. It's recent, I think.
Oh, the with like the purple horns.
Yes,
that's the I know exactly which one that is. Then I just didn't remember right away because that's an unpopular repaint. That's a that's actually a really good Transformer. Just no one likes that version of it. I think it's the Combiner Wars Armada Megatron, because it's like from the Transformers Armada cartoon. That's the look of that one.
Okay.
There's a normal Megatron in that mold, but you can't find that one because everyone bought that one and left the Armada one on the shelf.
So they were asking far more than I would for just a random drop-in toy for him. So no, I didn't do that.
Yeah, that's
this
like
was in the bags.
Bucks.
He then pointed at this one, and I was like, I looked at the tag. I'm like, I have no idea what this is. It clearly doesn't look like something that's easy to transform. It even like that's the like outside of the wheels as the.
That does not look high quality.
Right? Like it is $2.99. So I was like, okay, you know what? It'll keep him quiet. Let's like it was one of those buys.
Yeah.
But then when he was getting in the car, he was like trying to figure it out, and he's getting super frustrated. And I was just like, let me look at it. He's just like, not working. And I was like, figure it out, buddy. And then he fell asleep. While he was asleep, I figured out the transformation. And so when he woke up, I was like, hey, buddy, look at this. And I held that out. And I've never seen his eyes light up. Like it was awesome. For this, it was. I got lucky that I was able to figure it out because it was not easy.
Yeah. If you want a cheaper but still better than that alternative and easier to transform, like way into Transformers, I recommend the Legends class figures. They're about the $10 ones, kind of short.
Okay.
You can tell some of them are a little small and cheap, but there are some really good simple ones. Like in the current line, Beachcomber is pretty fun, and it's a really simple but fun transformation. He's a little blue guy I showed off last week, the shorter one. I can go pull a couple off the shelf if you want, like ones that you could probably easily find.
Oh, I'm not in any. This was a
Random.
keep him from throwing a tantrum in the store type of moment.
But that's a solution if he's like begging for Transformers in the store again or something. Look for those ones.
Okay.
They're $10, but a couple of them are pretty nice. Sea Spray is underrated. Like you see Sea Spray hanging everywhere, but he's so fun to transform. He's a little like a hoverboat guy. Anyway.
Yeah, it's an interesting. First, I'm like, oh, well, it's clearly an Indy car, and then I found out it's got like rockets on the back and stuff. But yeah. There you go. And it's missing the front canopy, but I can cope.
It's got to be missing something if it's from a thrift store.
Well, it was from. I mean, this is a collectibles shop. I'm certain that's why it was $2.99 and not like there were some other ones that there was the very small dump truck, like the dark green dump truck that they had for a couple bucks. It would have been a really easy transformation for him, but he pointed at this one and I was like, well, that saves me money. And
I think race cars are slightly more interesting to kids than dump trucks.
You don't know my son.
Yeah. You might be surprised.
Like,
and it's the whole reason Tonka's around.
Like Devastator is in our future, I have a feeling. If he really gets into Transformers, Devastator will be in our future.
That's an expensive Transformer.
Oh, I know. But it's all the construction equipment that he loves to.
Are you talking about the G1 or the recent one?
Oh, just probably the recent. The recent one's more.
The recent one's in the realm of probably 300 to 400, and the G1 on eBay is probably around 100.
Okay, probably G1 then.
It's a much better, higher quality.
I should say G1 though, not probably. It should be that one.
It's a wee bit cheaper in quality and price.
That's some mighty expensive plastic you got there.
Did you see my pickups last week?
That's some mighty expensive plastic you got there.
Indeed.
Oh, while I was there at that shop, I got two other things. This is called a segue.
You picked up a Segway?
I picked up a Segway. No. I got this Opportune.
Nice.
Yay. So we did not have this on DVD. And so disc was good. It's one of my wife's favorite movies, and I figured it made sense considering it was on Film Dango last week. And so I was there, we walked in there, we got something for my wife, we got something for my son, and then I'm sitting here, and I'm like, well, we came all this way, am I really going to leave without picking up something? I'm like, I really should find something. So I was looking through, and I found I realize now the label's a little chewed up, but I found a copy of 1080 Snowboarding. I figured I would just knock knock something off the N64 list because they didn't have the Digger T-Rock I was looking for. And I wasn't about to start going black box titles too hard yet on the NES. So I figured I'd grab this for a couple bucks, support the shop because I like the shop. So.
Oh yeah, I picked up a couple of things at my local shop the other day too, and he's actually I traded up from a regular 3DS to a new 3DS recently, and he actually gave me an extra $10 for my old 3DS and he flat out said, because I come in there so often. So, but I mean, I've gotten Commodore 64 stuff from this guy, Atari 8-bit cartridges, just everything. He's already got basically everything but the box of the God of War special edition, like the statue, the metal case and everything. It's like, how do you already have one of those? Apparently there's this guy that comes in almost every time there's some sort of special release. He buys it, has it for a couple of days, and then sells it to this place.
That's interesting.
What does he do? Buy the special release of the game, beat the special release of the game, and then sell it to him?
I don't know. I mean, it just sounds like this guy has no impulse control. It's like, ooh, shiny and expensive. I'm going to buy this. Oh, I shouldn't have bought that. I'm going to sell it back for, half of what I paid for it.
Yeah. The definition seemed like a good idea at the time.
Yeah. And it's like, wow. I mean, at the very least, that means this place has some, new stuff that people might actually still be looking for, but
well,
just at the store.
Boggles him too.
Well, that's one of the biggest downfalls of a shop is if you can't get any inventory and you're screwed.
Oh yeah, he actually just within the last 6 months or so moved to a new place. He used to be within walking distance of where I live. Now he's just a little bit of a drive, but he was actually at the Midwest Gaming Classic. The store's Universal Collectibles. I don't know if he had a sign up, but he was actually there.
Was he one of the ones toward the front?
If you're looking from the entry, he was like on the right-hand side, probably about halfway back. Yeah,
okay.
Something like that.
What I'm thinking. Okay.
There was and then there was, of course, the table. I picked up a I want to say 200 or so gigabyte hard drive for my Xbox 360 for $5 from the Makes Sense table.
Nice.
I don't know. I once bought a junk Xbox 360 in a pawn thrift store for $5 just for the controller and the hard drive.
Well, the only reason I own an Xbox 360 is for Black Friday last year. GameStop was doing a thing where if you took one of their Xbox 360s off their hands for $60, they'd send you a $60 gift card.
Mm-hmm.
I basically paid nothing for a completely refurbished Xbox 360.
Refurbished.
Yeah.
Hey, that's.
Although it does say Jasper on the back, so it should be one of the ones that that won't red ring so easily.
That's good.
Yeah, refurbished.
I don't know. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm pretty sure they don't refurbish anything. They just give you another one. They just say, "Here you go. We have a whole shitload of this." Put some duster on it.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I've already got my money's worth.
Yeah. I don't think they. I just don't think they fix anything. They probably take the Dell approach. When something breaks, they just can put a new thing in and just give it right back to you. Here you go.
Yeah. Well, with a lot of the modern hardware, that's what you're kind of stuck doing because it's way too complex.
As long as they fix it.
It's just faster. That's why. Stuff isn't that expensive, and then you just go, here you go. Nothing to deal with. Get this off your hands.
Well,
you're not going to recap. You're not going to recap a 360 for us.
Nope. Just here you go. Here's another one.
I mean, if it was water damage, and I had another 360 that had like a dead GPU or something, and I could easily see what the hell the problem was, sure, I'd give it a hack. But most of the time, no.
Recapping a Game Gear is probably enough in terms of complexity and just amount of caps.
Yeah.
And he's gone.
I see a cat.
Are you okay?
Oh.
There we go. Got everybody's cats in here today now.
Yep. Let's see which one freaks out first.
There you go.
Me.
Asleep.
What? This is Tiri. I chose the name after the Russian word for the number 4. Just like the sound of it.
So since Musty showed a couple things, does anyone else have pickups?
Yeah, I got a couple.
We can't really present anybody, but
Oh, I got you. Let me see. That...
Okay.
Oh, I can present. I just can't give you.
Okay.
We'll figure that out.
Yeah,
figure it out. I'll just get the comics out of the way first because I bought some more comics. One thing I thought was pretty neat when I was checking out is I guess one of the things DC has as a promotion right now is they're giving out wedding invitations because Batman and Catwoman are getting married now, so they're handing out invitations, and on the back essentially is like I guess the upcoming books leading up to the wedding. But
that's
I thought it was pretty
cool, actually.
Yeah. So I took one of those, and it's got the date of when it comes out, which is July 4th, 2018. So I picked that up. Picked up the new Avengers book that came out last week, Avengers 2. And then I picked up a couple old issues of Spider-Man Deadpool that I'm going to start pursuing that series. I actually really did enjoy it when I was reading it a year ago. So I'm going to go after the ones I missed. So I got, that one's number 30. This one is 29.
I need to get back into that too.
And then I got 797. So I have the Going Down Swinging 1, 2, 3s leading up to issue 800 now. So that's the comics pickup. And then I found some games. I was planning on going to GameStop, and I changed my mind at the last minute because they had their Pro Days sale last week. And I changed my mind because I still feel as if I can get them cheaper if I wait a little bit longer, the games that I wanted. So I just held off, and I found these actually yesterday. And I left the sticker price on the front just to show you, but I didn't pay the price because, of course, it's student discount. So I got Super Mario Brothers Wii, Mario Kart, and Super Paper Mario. All three of them trade pretty well at GameStop right now. I believe this one is close to 18 with the Pro Elite membership, and this one is, I think, 16. And then I think this one's only 8, so the price like that. But I paid about $17 for this stuff for these 3 games. So I'm probably going to trade these 2 in, and I might keep this one because I do like the first 2 Paper Mario games. I heard this one isn't as good, but I don't know. So
haven't played it yet.
But they're all complete. They're all Manuel's games, and all games are in really good shape. So I was happy about that, but I'm probably going to trade them in just for more trade credit for next year's Black Friday. Hopefully they have I know we haven't seen that sale for a while. The trade 6 in, get 60%. Crossing my fingers.
I would bet they don't. They do it for Elite Pros only.
Mm-hmm. Which is what I am. But I'm holding. Yeah. So that's it.
Is that because Best Buy has forsaken you?
No. It's honestly, I like that I only spent, I think, $60 last year with the stuff I traded in to get a PlayStation 4 Pro. So I kind of like taking that philosophy to just, if I can thrift my way to whatever, an Xbox One X or a PlayStation VR, cool.
I go VR first.
We have a convert.
And this is an Xbox guy, tell me too. So.
Dude, you don't need both the PlayStation and the Xbox.
It's false. No, that's false.
If they made it fully backwards compatible, I'd consider it, just so I'd only have to have one device instead of. I mean, right now I only have the Xbox, the original Xbox, and the Xbox 360. I'd consider it if I could get rid of both of those and have them all upscaled and all that. But I mean, Toe Jam and Earl 3 doesn't even work on the original, on the Xbox 360.
I don't know. I got like piles of consoles.
Sell them. Get some new stuff.
Really?
Sorry, I've been going around and collecting some of my recent pickups.
Go ahead.
So the other day, well, while I was on vacation in the Twin Cities, I happened across a half-price books, and so I decided to poke around, and I found a game that I had never heard of before. It's called Baldies for the original PlayStation.
What?
I know, but it's actually a pretty good, like, real-time strategy sort of game. I'm actually pretty impressed. I played it a little bit on stream a couple of nights ago, and there's really no tutorial. There's no in-game tutorial. So I was kind of bumbling around, and I'm like, well, I don't feel like bumbling around on stream, so I'm probably going to have to play this a little bit and then come back. But another thing that kind of amused me about it, ZeniMax Media, parent company of Bethesda.
Oh, nice.
This is also compatible with the PlayStation mouse, which I don't have, but I thought that was kind of interesting.
I never heard of such a thing.
Everything about that game is weird.
I know. That's kind of why I picked it up. But it actually ended up being pretty fun, too. Another thing that I found that I was kind of keeping an eye out for is another copy of the Xbox Exhibition Volume 2 demo disc. I love collecting demo discs, but this one in particular because it has the downloadable content for Toe Jam and Earl 3 on the original Xbox, which this is now the only way you can get it because you can't go on Xbox Live and pick it up anymore. Then recent trip to the Universal Collectibles, found a bunch of Xbox demo discs. Picked these up for $1 a piece. And then I also decided that I was going to start trying to find the Ultima games, so I picked up Ultima Exodus for the NES. And grabbed Donkey Kong Jr. for the Atari 7800, because my 7800 is working now. So lots of fun stuff recently.
That's really cool. I didn't know that about the exhibition disc.
Yeah, and sometimes you'll find them online for like $20 because of that, but this one was only $3.
I mean, there's a bunch on eBay right now that are well under that. I mean, it's probably more than you would pay for a generic demo disc, but
yeah. Well, because when Toe Jam and Earl Back in the Groove finally gets a release date, I plan on doing a giveaway of the of Toe Jam and Earl 3, because that's also been kind of hard to find. And so I'm kind of glad that I'll be able to include this.
One of these days.
Yeah, I've managed to find 2 copies, and I have been looking for a long time.
I've got a random question since you mentioned the exhibition discs, and I remembered something I found recently had one in it. Do you have any familiarity with the Ultimate Halo Companion DVD? It's got Master Chief and the lizard guy from Brute Force on it. It comes with a hit book.
It sounds familiar, but I have to say I've never been that much on the Xbox.
No one has heard of this damn thing. I'm trying to find a picture of it.
I mean, there's some on eBay.
I know there are, but like no one knows where it came from. I'm just trying to find a picture of it to share. I've got one up finally. Because I've got it in a box in the other room, so I can't exactly grab it. But,
I did find a Fable like DVD thing that's kind of wow. So the Exhibition 2.0 demo disc is in with it. That's interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, I've asked like 5 or 6 people at this point what the hell that is. No one knows.
Wow.
It's clearly not worth very much. It's just I can't find any information on the origin of it.
It's a shame that just popping it in probably wouldn't tell you that.
I actually never did that, but it wouldn't probably tell you like it was with this store.
Right. Like if it was a store exclusive or if it was on part of a magazine thing or whatever.
This was a pre-order bonus at.
Yeah.
It will not do this. But if it was going to say that, it would say it on the box. And it doesn't.
Yeah, like my Pizza Hut PS1 demo discs.
That's awesome. That's stupid, but it's awesome.
It is.
Yeah, I like collecting demo discs too. I got the Xbox disc that has Voodoo Vince on the front semi-recently too.
Nice.
Yeah, even IGN the only thing that they have about that companion DVD set is that it will be released in 2003. That's it.
Congratulations, we found out that it exists.
Yes, I found that out when I found it in the thrift store. Thank you.
There we go.
It says a DVD bonus set for fans of Halo and the emerging Xbox game console. This disc set features behind-the-scenes material. You know what's on there, so there is no information.
It's old.
Only that it's a thing.
Yep.
This was clearly written before it was released.
Yeah. Random. But you never know like what the hell they released promotionally for those things. I found in the same... I showed it a couple weeks ago, but I found in the same thrift run the bonus DVD that apparently came with Enter the Matrix on Xbox. Something I had also never heard of. It was in its own separate little cardboard sleeve. Of course, you can't do anything with it on the Xbox unless you have the little adapter thing.
Oh yeah, I think I still have Enter the Matrix for the PS2, and you were able to plug a keyboard into the PS2's USB to use for the hacking parts. I never got that far because the game is trash, but
I
remember it.
The only reason I picked it up is like, this is 1080i on the original Xbox. That's somewhat fascinating.
Yeah.
I think I played it just to test to see if it worked, and I got farther than I ever had before, because I think when I rented it when it came out, that I got stuck on the first driving stage, which is the second level, or the end of the first level, because it locks you out, and it gives you a very vague guideline of evade your pursuers or something, and you have to drive around for 2 minutes to wait for the little thing to come up so you can drive through. There's no countdown or anything. You just have to drive and shoot at police for 2 minutes and hope you remember to go drive back where you came from.
You lasted longer in that game than I did on the Fifth Element for the PlayStation 1.
That's another one I want just for the hell of it, because that's like, this should not exist.
My sister got that for me for Christmas one year, and because I love the movie. So she's like, hey, I'll get you the game. I popped it in, played it, and about 10 minutes in, she turned to me and she apologized.
That's how you know you've made a keeper.
I know. and like when I was playing it, they had cutscenes from the original movie, which was cool, but they spliced it together so that the first stage is or the second stage is Corbin gets caught by the police and you're Lilu breaking him out of prison.
Okay.
It's like, what? And that was by the same people that did Nightmare Creatures, which was awesome.
Yeah. It was probably really rushed in development.
Yeah. Gee, that never happens with movie tie-in games.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder why the Transformers Dark of the Moon game is so much worse than the previous not movie licensed Transformers game from the same developer.
Yeah, no kidding.
I think the only movie licensed game that I have actually just legitimately rage quit was the Iron Man game on PS2. It's just, it's like, nope, this is too far. I grew up playing Batman Forever, and this is too far.
What about Superman Returns?
I like that you went for that and not Superman 64.
Okay, Christopher Pico, yes, I have played that game, and it's actually pretty fun. It's something like New York Race or something like that. It doesn't even have the Fifth Element branding on it, but it's basically like a 3D as far as your movement is concerned racing game. And it's actually pretty fun.
Euro Fifth Element?
Yeah, it was a PS2 game that was only released in Europe.
Okay.
So that's probably why. Yeah. But it was actually pretty good.
Yeah, Chris has probably got a ton of other movie tie-in games up his sleeve for exactly this type of conversation.
Well, I'll tell you which movie tie-in game impressed the hell out of me was and I'm sure this is kind of low-hanging fruit for that kind of thing, but the Telltale Back to the Future. It really does feel like a missing fourth movie. They did
play that. I have that. I have it on. It was free on Gold. I just haven't played it yet.
Definitely play it. They basically go back to Prohibition era, which is a gap in the original three movies, and there is actually a voice cameo from Michael J. Fox as an old Marty at one point.
That's cool.
Didn't they actually? I think they went back and got the actor because I think originally the guy who played Biff wasn't it, and then they got him for like maybe the PS4 Xbox re-release. He voiced Biff in it. I think I know it was originally released on the Wii. I think right, and then
it was on the PS3. That's where I also played it.
Sure. But I think Michael J. Fox, I think at first couldn't do it, and that's why I think he appears. I have yet to play it. I just remember, I think, reading about it. I think he couldn't do it right away, and that's why I don't think he appears it too. Like him and Christopher Lloyd, who plays, I think he's in it too, but maybe not to the end.
I tell you, the guy who did the voice of Marty in those games, though, did a fantastic job.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's pretty spot on Marty from the movies.
I have to get to that one of these days. It's one of the last ones I still get to play. So
it's probably Curtis. His Marty McFly is pretty good.
Does anyone have a favorite movie licensed game that came out like around the release of the movie and not like a years later thing?
GoldenEye.
So you're saying GoldenEye's off the table?
No.
Yeah, like GoldenEye and the Back to the Future thing.
No.
Like just other than that, like those
GoldenEye.
are good.
You know that Wolverine and Captain America games for the PS3 and 360 are pretty decent.
The X-Men Origins Wolverine game and the Captain America Super Soldier.
Yeah,
I want to get that Captain America game. It actually looks pretty decent.
It's pretty decent, yeah.
Yeah, the X-Men one is an easy sell because that is probably one of the best tie-in games.
Silent Hill was pretty good, and that came out years before the movie did.
I was gonna say the final battle at the end of that Wolverine game though is stupid hard and
it is
incredibly frustrating.
It is about as good as the final scene of the movie.
Yep.
Try playing that
I haven't seen
4 times on the highest difficulty to 100% the game.
Nah.
I never want to touch that again in my life.
Yeah, after
great game. Never want to touch it again in my life.
Anything that involves 3D platforming where you're trying to fight is not fun.
Yeah.
Musty, you were gonna say something?
Yeah, I think you guys know what my answer is probably going to be.
Two Towers and Return of the King.
If it's between those two, it would be Return of the King. I liked that better. I liked the unlockables that you get out of that one. There's some behind the scenes stuff, and
I want to say I think Return of the King might have dropped a week prior or something to Return to the movie. Maybe I'm not 100% on that. I just remember that there were scenes in that game that were in the movie that weren't in the movie, but they were added during the extended cut of the movie.
Does Star Wars Starfighter count?
Did it come out in direct relation to a movie?
It came out shortly before the episode 1 did, and after episode 1 released, the code leaked to unlock the Naboo Starfighter. It was several months before people found that.
The obvious answer for a tie-in game for episode 1, though, is the racing game.
That was good.
Very good.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the next Star Wars sale to come up so I can get that on GOG. Yes, the GBA Revenge of the Sith is pretty good.
I was just watching a video about that before I joined the Hangout.
It's also on DS. It's the same game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And the main console...
I liked episode 3. With the dual mode. Dual mode was fun.
I played that around when the movie came out, and it was actually pretty good.
Yeah. So to answer Chris's question in the chat, I have not played the SNES game yet because all my consoles are still packed up. So, no, I have not had a chance to dive into that yet. What I was going to say, though, my favorite is the difference between movie licensed and just licensed. And I think Battle for Middle Earth falls under just licensed.
Yeah, I'm talking ones that have the movie's title and the cover of the movie. Sure. Yeah, 1-to-1 releases.
Yeah.
Because Shadow of Mordor has been just completely critically acclaimed up and down.
Yeah, exactly. I need to get back to that after I finish God of War. It is super good.
I do too.
In relation to the Attack of the Clones GBA game, apparently, just for the archive.
I don't think I even need to look that one up on Urban Dictionary. I'm pretty sure I know what a Cleveland Steamer is.
Well, you know what the football team is, right?
I'm trying to think of other movie tie-ins.
I'll say
are any of the Harry Potter games?
I don't know if those are supposed to be good. There are people that like the Quidditch game. I tried to get into that one.
It wasn't around the release of the movie, but I enjoyed Tron 2.0.
Ooh, killer app.
Yeah, and it was actually supposed to be in place of a true sequel to the original Tron. Yeah. It had a pretty good story, and they brought back Bruce Boxleitner did the voice and everything. I enjoyed that, and it was years before Tron Legacy came out.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's at some point movie tie-in games stopped happening because Disney Infinity existed.
Yeah,
and all the Lego games had kind of permeated, the greater
movie tie
industry with regards to those middleware. I mean, we don't get middleware anymore with our games. It's indies and AAA, and there's not that bargain second tier developer because no publisher puts money into that anymore.
Not often. I think Hellblade
very rare.
applies in there, but that's also kind of indie. It's like indie mid-tier.
Like Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's Ninja Theory too. Who I mean, that wasn't their first project.
No, but it is a cheaper to develop game.
It was they intentionally made that mid-tier.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
They intentionally said, we don't want to spend so much money making this game that we have to price this above what it should be. So that was baked into its DNA.
Still, though, one of the few recent examples of a mid-tier release.
Yeah,
that's true. I mean, Katamari was a mid-tier release. That was a gamble, though. At the same time.
But that was Namco, which isn't exactly a mid-tier developer.
Also true.
They could afford to take a risk on something as batshit insane as Katamari.
Yeah.
Back to movie games for a second, but you can go on that tangent, obviously. But I wanted to mention a couple that are just kind of odd. Like, you wouldn't think these are good, and no one else, I'm sure, played them. A couple are going to play the second one because it was in a Metal Jesus video. I'll do that one first. Is the Van Helsing game?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was actually pretty decent.
That was recent Metal Jesus video.
Yeah, I'm hoping I kept that. And the one that no one's mentioned that I can remember is the Constantine game, based on the Keanu Reeves movie.
Oh, yeah.
That was actually a fairly decent game.
The whole beginning is like shot for shot out of the... I remember the first like level or two, and that's about it.
Yeah.
I might have played it might have been a demo, now that I think about it.
Yeah, I think there was one of that. But
here's one that I grew up with and I enjoyed, but every time I've been watching a retro streamer and they're like, okay, we're going to open it up to requests, and I suggest this game. They're like, oh, why did you make me play this? Bill and Ted's Excellent Video Game Adventure for the NES.
Oh, LJN.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I enjoyed this.
Jaws is I think a pretty good tie-in game. It's a good game.
I don't think Friday the 13th is that bad if you know what you're doing.
Yeah. That Wayne's World for the NES is garbage. I think when I was getting back into retro gaming, I played it on a Flash site. It's terrible. I think it goes for like $100.
Terminator 2, the arcade game.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
really
definitely.
I had that on Genesis. That was not
but
ideal.
only in the arcade. Only in the arcade. I'm not going to try to play a light gun game using the control pad.
I played the
Game Boy one.
Oh,
I had it on with the Manister. You want to play with the Manister?
Oh, yes.
Manister?
I had the Menacer. In fact, I still have the cartridge for it at the very least, so I've got ready aim tomatoes on hand.
I call it the Manister because I love Keith Apocary's E3 video where he goes around, I think, interviewing people. That's the Justifier, but he does it for the Manister, he calls it, because he said it's so much more manly being on Sega than it is like the Super Nintendo's light gun. So yeah, that's why I prefer calling it the Manister. Anyways, side note.
Are you man enough for the Manister?
That could have been an ad for it.
I saw him at too many games. He's something else. Keith Apicary.
I'd love to see Keith Apicary. But...
he was like moving plants and crap like around.
Oh, it's great.
Like he was moving stuff like that belonged to the building. That's just pissing off the property management group off.
One of my favorite ones is when he does it at E3 where he jumps off the second floor and climbs onto a tree basically and then slides down. That's because he keeps doing anything like Assassin's Creed. He keeps jumping on the stuff and saying Assassin's Creed, or jumping into garbage can head first. Assassin's Creed. But that's been pretty good.
And that's gonna end well.
Yeah.
I spent part of my 5th grade year head down in a garbage can, but I wasn't thinking of Assassin's Creed.
That's because it wasn't out yet. So yeah.
Well, that's true.
So you could have been like Assassin's Creed.
5th grade, I don't think even Prince of Persia was out yet.
It's like that's where you got the vision to create the game Assassin's Creed.
Yep. I'm secretly Jordan Mechner.
I'm gonna release one of these every year. Every year.
And
they will sell, continue to sell.
Although I have to say, I can't remember if it was the first one or whichever one where you get to the end and you're talking to the ancient lady and she turns to the screen and starts talking to you. That was a legitimate creep out moment.
This is supposed to narrow it down.
This is a Psycho Mantis part where it's like it's reading your mind here.
Well, she like turns and looks right at the screen and addresses, theoretically addressing the guy in the Animus, but she looks like she's addressing you directly. It's like, wow, okay.
It's probably not one of the first two, so I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Yeah, it's the only two I've played.
I've only played up through Black Flag myself, which I don't feel like I've missed anything up until Origins. Origins looks pretty good.
Yeah, that narrows it down to Brotherhood, Revelation, or 3.
Yeah, I played all the the Assassin's Creed 2 ones. In fact, I bought, I think it was Revelations. Is it? One of them came with the original Assassin's Creed as like a pack-in title. And I bought that.
Very tangentially a movie tie-in and also related to this point is Prince of Persia Forgotten Sands. Because that came out around the same time as the movie.
And that was based on the movie then?
No, it was in between. The movie was based on Sands of Time, so they just made something that was in between Sands of Time and Warrior Within.
Okay.
It's pretty good. Like, it's close as you're gonna get to like that original kind of feel-ish. And it's also fascinating because there's like 4 different versions of that game in that they are 4 different games with the same label on them. Different stories, different gameplay, different everything, same title. Jeez. Like the Wii game is completely dissimilar. The DS game, the PSP game, all completely dissimilar games from each other, all with the same title.
I have to say, Sands of Time was the first game I remember sitting there at the title screen, not realizing that the cinematic had stopped and I was supposed to start moving the character.
That's kind of awesome.
Yeah, I remember that vividly. It's like, oh, I'm supposed to do something here.
Yep.
I mean, that's happened a couple of times before, but that's the first time I remember that happening.
Yeah. My obligatory PSA, never play the PS3 versions of those. Ever. The HD trilogy. Just, if you come across a disc of that, burn it. It is horrible. They never patched it, and it is broken.
I haven't really played any of the Prince of Persia games after Sands of Time.
That's the worthwhile one.
Well, and it's also the worthwhile one because they had the original Prince of Persia hidden on the disc.
I think one of them has 2 on there as well.
Yeah,
I got a game-breaking error near the end of Warrior Within. I have not gone back to replay that.
Oh no! Wait, that's right. I played it on the GameCube.
Yeah,
I remember there was one Prince of Persia game on the Wii that I played. I got to the final boss of the stupid game, and they locked the final boss had QuickTime events, like the motion controls.
It was probably Rival Swords.
Yeah, split-second QuickTime events, like the motion controls.
Oof.
Jeez.
Yeah, that was.
Who spent like 6 hours trying to beat that boss and then gave up because you almost threw a Wiimote through a TV.
Yeah, that's a motion control version of Two Thrones. The third one. I think it was the same team that ended up going forward and making Forgotten Sands, but they improved substantially on that.
Did they learn not to put QuickTime events to motion controls?
Probably.
Because up to then, the game was decent. Other than a few, like, what the hell moments.
Another Prince of Persia oddity is the GBA version of Sands of Time. Which is also obviously a very dissimilar game. But it's actually pretty decent. The presentation of the cinematics and everything are terrible. But the actual gameplay is pretty decent. And you actually get to play as Farah in that one. And you alternate to solve puzzles.
Talking about not being able to finish just because of something stupid. I finally got the urge to play Shining in the Darkness again, but I think I'm going to wait until the PS4 Sega Classics collection comes out. I played that. I actually have the cartridge for the Genesis. I played through it, got to the end boss, and realized that the game had let me throw away part of the Shining armor, which is required to defeat the end boss.
Oof.
Welcome to ye old RPG. Please start over from the beginning.
Yeah. So I have not replayed that game in like 15 or 20 years because of that.
That's reasonable.
Yeah.
My error in Warrior Within was that I phased through a door I wasn't supposed to go into and I couldn't get out.
Oh, jeez.
Nice. You broke door things.
And I was going for 100% and it was a ways in the game. But by far, probably the stupidest I couldn't finish this because dumb game for everybody was probably X-Men on the Genesis. Not because of any error.
Reset button.
Yes. Exactly. It's not due to any error with the game. It was an error with the developer's logic.
That was awesome. I love stuff like that, though.
It's great, but it's also terrible if you're a kid and you don't know that.
It's like, it's telling me to reset the computer. What am I supposed to do?
Yep.
Well, did you press the reset button? Where's the reset button? The one on the console.
And you have to half press it or you will go back to the start of the game. That has to be the worst.
Wait, really?
Even though it's cool, it's the worst.
I love it when games like imaginatively use hardware like that.
Yeah.
Like the original MGS is an easy take on that, you know. Put the controller on the floor and I'll move it with the power of my mind. And it totally worked too.
Yeah, I'm glad that they worked some of that logic out before Psycho Mantis.
Yeah. And then like I love it when it's stuff that you wouldn't normally think of, like Alien Isolation on the PS4. If you have the camera plugged in, it will actually take sound from the microphones on the camera, and sounds you make could alert the xenomorph.
That is simultaneously awesome and bullshit at the same time. That is
right,
terrible and fantastic.
And then Until Dawn on the PS4, if you've got the camera plugged in, whenever there's a jump scare, it records a couple of seconds before and after the jump scare.
It's like a roller coaster.
So basically you can go back in the menu and replay the jump scare scene, and it will show you what you looked like when the jump scare happened.
And hopefully you were wearing pants.
Well, I mean, for me, I went back and I was doing that, and I'm just sitting there with a grin on my face. I I don't get taken by jump scares very easily.
Imagine if it just showed you a slideshow and it was basically just you smiling in each one, and it was like very little change.
Yeah.
It's like the game completely failed you.
Oh, that wacky little badger.
I think the lesson here is don't leave the camera plugged in for horror games.
Right. Basically.
Yeah.
So I'm looking through the newest Game Informer, and unfortunately there's an article on Radical Heights.
Ooh.
Oh. Too soon, man. Too soon.
Yeah.
I listened to the Easy Allies podcast where they were talking about the announcement of Radical Heights on the day they announced the closure of Radical Heights.
Poor Cliffy B.
Yeah. Turning down all those other game ideas that would have been much better than not Overwatch and not PUBG.
Right?
Yep.
Well, not Fortnite at this point, because Fortnite has kind of beaten PUBG at its own game.
Yeah.
I don't know what any of those are. I don't want to know.
They're kid games.
Battle Royale! I finally played Fortnite the other day, and I was going down my PS4 What's New menu and noticed that my 9-year-old nephew and my 5-year-old niece had fired it up. And I'm like, okay, fine, God, I'll play Fortnite.
And now you've not stopped playing it probably since, right?
I played it for about 40 minutes and I haven't touched it again since. Partially because I died within a minute my first try. Yep. I got 6th place on my second try. I'm like, no, I have nowhere to go from here. I mean,
the chances is pretty good in a 1 versus 100. I just got to say that.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm sitting there and I'm like, no, it would take me a long time to get better than 6th place, and I really don't care. So
it would do wonders for your streaming, though.
I'm sure it would. But
I'm not sure why, because those games are boring as sin to watch people play.
Right?
Yeah, they're so slow. Like, watch me.
So that's why
for 40 minutes.
So that's why the hype zone exists. Are you familiar with what the hype zone is?
Well, just like
a channel theory. It's like a channel on, like, Mixer has it, for example, and you watch that channel, and they will float you to the exciting stuff. So, like, they will find the people who are in the top 10 or the top 5 and move everyone in there real quick. And so all of a sudden, those people who are streaming it get this surge of viewers as they're, like, in the middle of the most tense moments of their game.
I'm not going to lie. My heart was pounding toward the end there.
Oh, yeah.
And the guy that took me out, I actually got a couple of shots on him, but he had a springboard hidden behind a house that I didn't see. And he sprung up on it, and I lost track of him. And he must have flown over me, landed behind me, and took me out from behind. So I don't feel like it was a very stupid death.
No, that sounds pretty like he got you on that one.
He legitimately got me. I actually got 1 kill too during that game. So I'm like, you know, I feel like I did pretty good there. I'm fine with leaving this alone now.
Yeah, but seriously, with those games, like they just look so much more infinitely fun to play than they are to watch.
Just like golf. I love playing golf.
I don't know if either version of that's exciting, but
yeah. I like playing golf. I don't really like watching people play golf.
Yeah.
But no, I stream whatever the hell I want. It may not be good for getting me to affiliate, but you know what? At least I still have my soul.
Yeah. This is true. So I see we got Mighty Q Dog. He's here, but he's not here yet.
He's muted.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
There you are.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, great! Another
He was here before you.
I'm sure.
You just call me Mighty.
Mighty.
No. I'm kidding.
Let's call you Q.
Let's call me Q. Q Dog.
Meister Q Dog? Meister Q Dog.
Meister, yeah, Meister Q Dog.
So have you taken it out for a spin anymore, or is it just nicely boxed away forever?
No. It's hooked up. I don't have I haven't updated the firmware. I haven't done the settings, and I don't have RGB cables. But it is plugged in, connected to my component and composite, and functioning from what I can tell.
Are you waiting on SCART cables? Are you getting SCART cables?
I'm going to, yeah, I am. I think I am. And I talked to Melissa, my wife, about it. And what's holding me back is that I keep missing the stock. Everything's out of stock every time I look. And I know with Retro Access, you got to look in the morning. And the one in the UK, I don't know what's going on with those guys. They said they're out of stock on the plug or something, and they're not offering. I want to buy this all at once to save on shipping. And the Saturn version, they're not. They've shut down a bunch of the Saturn cables. I don't know what's going on there. So I think they're low on stock right now.
I mean, you could get the HD Retrovision cables and put it through there, but I think they're twice as expensive as SCART cables.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm using it, but not taking it to its full advantage.
I think Nick from HD Retrovision keeps calling them short cables because he's heavily biased. So
yeah, I'd like to understand that. I should look into it a little bit more. What's the deal between component and RGB?
I managed to find an S-Video cable for my Saturn, so that's what I've got hooked up.
S-Video?
Yeah.
Does your TV have S-Video? Because my TV doesn't even have S-Video anymore.
I run all of my composite stuff and S-Video stuff through an HDMI upscaler.
Yeah, okay.
So it's going through that.
Yeah, with the FrameMeister too, that's now an option. Is I could do S-Video again because I think the FrameMeister takes S-Video.
Yeah.
But, that was a short-lived connection, if you ask me. I only had one TV that lasted a couple of years with S-Video.
I would say that the idea behind it is actually older than S-Video because, like, the Commodore 64 would output in Chroma and Luma, which is basically what S-Video is.
Yeah. Okay.
So, like, you can what I've got for my Commodore 64 is a video cable that splits those out into basically like the RCA jacks, and then I can plug those into like the other side of a splitter and combine it for video, and it ends up looking as good as an S-Video output. It's really kind of weird.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you use it with like a regular composite input? You don't like it doesn't recombine them to an S-Video style connection?
No, it just goes into composite, and it looks better than a normal composite would.
Okay.
I don't know how it managed to do that, but it does.
No, that's awesome. I've thought about getting a Commodore 64 sometime, but
yeah, this one's still my my dad's Commodore. The main thing you want to watch out for is the power supply.
Yeah.
The original power supplies are not very well built, and there's really nothing between the 5-volt and the main processor on a Commodore. So if the power supply starts to go, you will easily fry your Commodore.
Okay.
But what I ended up getting was a thing that plugs into the power port, and it's got 2 pigtails with barrel connections. That one of them you plug in a PSP charger, and the other one you plug in a Super Nintendo charger, and that provides the 9 volts and the 5 volts that the Commodore needs to run.
Wow. Well, that's fancy. I gotta tell you, I really appreciate all these people figuring out how to keep these old systems going.
Yeah, entirely. I picked up a device that lets me connect the the 1541, the floppy drive.
Yeah.
Through this device by USB to my computer, so I was able to archive all my old floppy disks.
Oh my gosh!
And then
awesome.
I got an SD card reader that plugs into the disk drive port on the Commodore,
Mm-hmm.
powers itself off of the user port on the Commodore, and just put all the disk images on that SD card.
Yeah, it acts as a floppy emulator, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Who doesn't somebody else have that? Was it Scott or NJ Retro? You guys remember? No,
I don't remember.
Somebody that we talk to in the Hangouts every now and then has one of those things too. That sounds really cool.
It works really well.
Yeah. Well, I never grew up with the Commodore, so I don't have any nostalgia for it or anything, which is probably what's slowing me down. But I hear it's a great game system.
It is. It is. The Commodore version of a number of games are like. I recently did a video on Winter Games during the Pyeongchang Olympics.
Oh yeah.
And I played the NES version. That was awful.
Mm-hmm.
Especially compared to the Commodore 64 version. The music was better. The graphics were better. The Nintendo version was missing like 4 of the events. It was just really weird.
Yeah. I believe it.
Are we going shopping with Josh right now?
I think
I'm watching. I want to see what's going on here. I got him on my view here. Put him on present here, so.
Is he it? Okay. Or is he at work?
There you go.
No.
Let's see what we can find in the store here. It's kind of like supermarket sweep, with the chest cam here.
Get the hams.
That's right.
Grab the hams.
He's not getting enough stuff.
You only got 5 minutes, Josh. Hold on.
Don't forget the toilet paper. You always forget the toilet paper.
I remember watching those shows and just going, "What in the hell, people?"
Those are fun.
What shows?
You got to grab the big inflatable, the King Kong. He always
You know,
has a
like
bonus.
the reality shows back in the day they had where they gave people like
It was game
door
shows. It was
giveaways
TV game shows is what
and
it
a
was.
cart.
It's kind of
and
like
then
video.
you
It's kind of like video power, but with food.
Throw random crap in the cart all haphazardly.
I know what you're talking about. I remember that show.
Yeah.
And they'd always do it in some bizarre fashion where you're like, where do they find these people?
The Bundys had an episode on Married with Children like it.
Like they don't even like smartly go after anything. They just throw whatever the hell they can find in the cart.
Well, you had to make a total, I think, right? You had to make-
He's thrifting? What's
That's
going on here?
Sierra.
No, he's at Walmart.
Yeah, it's on Walmart.
I recognize those lights anywhere.
Well, I saw the yellow asterisk on a sign behind him at one point.
Yeah, I'm just kind of hanging out, and then I was like, "Oh, the Hangout's on." Okay.
That's what it's there for.
Oh, I see. There's some. Must be in the toy section here.
Yeah,
Sierra.
see the WWE logo back
I thought I
there?
saw some
Yeah.
Star Wars.
I thought I saw Sierra for a brief second.
Amiibo? Hi.
Hi.
Funko Pops.
Yeah, Funko Pops.
Let's get a good look at these shelves here. Let's see what's going on here.
Halos in the background.
All right. We got some Avenger toys here.
Yeah, Justice League,
Mm-hmm.
Power Rangers,
The toys that will never move.
Avengers,
Incredible.
I said Avengers. Star Wars, Rampage, Jurassic World.
All right.
Yeah.
Now go to the big wheel aisle and pull one off the rack instead of trying to drive it.
Yeah.
Or go to the basketball rack behind you and like slam dunk a basketball right there. The bouncy ball rack right there.
You should get that Lego R2D2.
That's how I kept myself occupied at Walmart when I was a kid.
That's kind of what I was doing.
Oh,
Taking the ball out of that thing and Toss me back in there.
I'm sure Q-Dog needs a Lego R2-D2 to go with his Lego Millennium Falcon.
Here you go. Need tons of Lego stuff.
Yeah, that would sell.
Bubba.
Section we're in here now. This
propane?
Josh, here.
Better watch out.
Oh, he's going to the I see the car rack, the Power Wheels. All right, it is the monster truck one. Yeah, get one that's on the floor level so you can pull it out and you can just sit on it and start driving it, you know?
I might break it.
That's okay.
I don't think they have
It's
any
Walmart.
of
It's
those.
Walmart.
I don't have any like.
Yeah,
Most of the stuff is broken there.
It's not like we have it on like recording or anything.
No.
No.
On YouTube, where only a couple million people could, access it.
It's not like they don't have you on store camera walking around with the camera on your phone.
Yeah.
As far as they know, you're just talking on your phone. That's all.
Yeah.
I've seen like a bunch of those.
I'm just FaceTiming my mother.
And our half a dozen friends.
Did you remember your underwear? Go pick up some underwear.
No, I actually bought some underwear today. So.
Let's see them.
Good boy. Good boy.
Joke's on you.
Is it Gildan?
Nah, not Gildan.
Paint, okay.
Yeah, we're just hanging out.
Right.
Yeah, that's our one.
Blue Ocean Breeze, glossy.
Ocean Breeze? Is that a blue?
You're not supposed to be sniffing the paint.
Not. Oh yeah.
Was it a flavor? You can taste it?
Yeah.
Tasty paint.
Ocean Breeze?
If you come back to the hangout later with a blue nose, we know what's going on.
Where are we going?
Hardware aisle, okay. Going over here.
Does she know that you're being presented on the YouTube?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know that.
Hello.
I'm the one that told him to do it.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah, sure you did. Sure you did.
You thought about it, and like now I'm like, do it.
We're live and direct here with Edison Carter, and what I want to know is what kind of paint are you going to get?
What?
Creeper towel.
Okay.
Huh.
That's it.
Fascinating.
You know what we need?
I think the page number. What's the page number for your store if you have to page someone over the PA? Is it like star like 679 or something like that, or
What? Who, me?
yeah? Because I know most of the store phones are identical, where you can get to the phone and press the same page number, and you can get over the PA then.
It probably wouldn't work here. I don't work at Walmart, so.
No. I know, but most
It's been 20
stores
years
are
since I've
identical.
worked at a Walmart.
Star 11.
Was
Star
it?
11.
Star
Star
11.
1. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can get thrown out of the Walmart for saying crap over the PA of the Walmart.
Guess what? There's a million of them. You can always go to another Walmart.
Yeah.
Don't
I
do it
will
in the
say
one in
is-
your hometown. You will only create great hassles for yourself.
Section.
There we go.
Let's see what's in the bin here.
That's
All right.
what we're here for.
Blade Runner. Here we go.
Original or new?
Good sleeping material right there.
Original. Westworld, the original movie.
Nah, sleeping
Oh,
material is
found it.
2001: A Space
Found
Odyssey.
That is definitely one.
Right
No,
here.
no, no. Got it.
Jerry Seinfeld.
Are these the movies
Which one was
that
that
you
one? Party.
watch?
Here you go, Josh.
Oh, Space Jam. Yeah.
There you go. Everybody, it's time to
We
bring them
believe that
down.
every time he puts a DVD away, it speeds up.
A movie I could actually see being in there, like an slightly older action movie that would actually be worth watching is Escape Plan with Schwarzenegger and
Stallone.
Stallone, yeah.
These are like $8 a piece.
That's not a deal.
Yeah, $7.88.
Oh, there's Lord of the Rings.
That's it.
Regular cut.
That's a real nice deal.
Yeah. Where's that extended cut in there?
Starfighter.
I still need to see that.
Oh, The Last Starfighter? That's a good one.
This is a good one.
Yeah.
Since I'm looking at it,
What's your favorite movie, Josh?
Wonder Boy is $9.99 on Switch.
Boogie Nights?
I love that we're getting Passion of the Christ right next to Sausage Party. That's just
And Alvin and the
all
Chipmunks.
sorts of wonderful sacrilege.
Perfect.
Sacrilegious.
Sacrilegious.
Tomb Raider.
Last Boys.
Major Pain. One Terry.
You know what I haven't watched in a long time?
Major Pain? It's a good movie.
Yeah. Is that the one with the golf balls and the garden hoses?
No, that's Full Metal Jacket.
I can't remember this stuff anymore. I'm too busy with like Sokad Toa and things adding up to 180 and like, you know.
Get your head out of the stupid books. You know, you're wasting your life in school. You should be watching movies again.
And like the river shines.
the books are with Mr. Shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't the drill sergeant from Full Metal Jacket recently died?
Mm-hmm. Arlie Ermy.
Saving Silverman.
Yep. Where's your bathroom? I gotta take a dump.
Okay, let's turn off the camera after at that point. I don't think we need to live stream that.
What? Bathroom?
It would
Let's
actually
get this
be
new
a live
channel
stream.
banned right away. That's a good way to
Live
start.
streamed worse.
I've streamed stuff that should have been tossed in the toilet, but
We made Q-Dog facepalm.
he's been face palming for like the past 5 minutes.
Okay, yeah. Catherine's like, what am I watching?
Catherine's in the chat.
Yeah, she's like, what am I watching?
Oh
man, we're gonna
careful.
Oh, he's wearing his Cartridge Club shirt.
Yeah. You didn't see anything I've seen, did you?
Unfortunately, no.
Oh. Try to get this YouTube channel shut down.
Need a copyright strike from Walmart's lights.
Yes.
I don't think you're going to get much revenue from this channel anyway.
I don't know. Suddenly the Hangouts could be, 1,000 viewers.
I don't know.
I mean, the activity in the chat channels picked up. Maybe we should strike up a conversation with a sponsorship conversation with Walmart.
Yeah. And if they don't want to do it, we're going to say we're going to trash their store.
Right, we're going to take down
all their stores.
We couldn't possibly do anything worse than normal customers do on a daily basis.
I'm going to take down all your sales stickers.
They'll be like, go ahead. You'll just make some employees' lives miserable.
Screw up your zone defense.
Just trying to find like the worst trading cards that they have.
Trading cards?
There's got to be some movie tie-in trading cards.
Here we go.
There you go.
It's pretty good.
Josh, favorite movie tie-in game of all time?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Don't
say GoldenEye.
Simpsons and Run.
That's a movie tie-in?
Not really a movie
Oh,
tie-in.
movie tie-in. Movie tie-in. Okay, I'm trying to think. I can't think right now.
So, like,
Favorite movie tie-in game.
Huh?
Favorite movie tie-in game? I don't know. I like Super Star Wars.
It was okay. It was really difficult though.
That was only like a decade or so after the movie came out.
Oh, okay. Tie-in.
Okay,
Yeah, like directly
the
tying
arcade
them.
Star Wars game, because that was freaking awesome.
That one was good too. Yeah. Yeah.
And that was 1983, so it wasn't too long after the original.
It was before the re-release, right?
Way before. Like 1983, that was right around Return of the Jedi, wasn't it?
I like completely blanked on the movie tie-in games right now.
We'll accept the Simpsons movie. How about that? Wasn't there a Simpsons movie game?
Yes.
Yes.
I think so. Yeah.
No.
No, wait. It's just a Simpsons game, right?
Yeah, there's a Simpsons game.
Yeah.
If you can't even remember if there's a game for it or not, then it's probably not your favorite movie tie-in game.
Yeah, exactly.
What are these favorites everybody keeps asking about?
You know, people
Well, you know,
play,
like when
people play good games. Yoshi, you know, people like that. You know,
Like when people ask you what your favorite child is, and you actually have to like make a choice.
Movie tie-in games. Oh. Hey, that's a good one. Ratchet and Clank. The movie was terrible, but the game was great.
that movie is not terrible.
The game based on the movie, based on the game.
Yeah.
I am not sure I'm not sure if that qualifies or not. I do have that movie and it's still sealed. I haven't watched it yet.
It's okay.
Play the game because you basically get the same like CG and story. You just get to actually play in between the parts.
And Quark talks over a lot of stuff.
I kind of liked that though. That was
Ratchet, Ratchet's not a dick, and like he is in the first game.
I'm not talking to you, Solitary Bill.
Oh.
Right. Now we have to drive. There you go.
Okay.
That's Walmart.
Driving to this, yeah. Here you go.
No. I want him to drive and do this. It's part of the experiment. We'll see how dangerous
we don't
this really is.
Yeah, we don't want to put people in danger. Come
I
on.
don't believe those statistics. I want to see for myself how dangerous this stuff is.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I'd rather not get this channel's popularity blown up by them doing a barrel roll off the freeway.
I think we can at the very least take them off present at this point.
Try some assault.
Have I been presented this?
Do a barrel roll.
Yeah, that's the whole time.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize.
We went on an adventure.
The Walmart. It was quite enjoyable.
That's right. Just know that your trip to Walmart has been forever enshrined in YouTube history.
Yes.
Barring nothing crazy that happens in the next hour and a half.
I'm sure it could be worse. It can always be worse.
It could be worse. It could be bunnies.
What?
Yeah, back through.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the episode where they're singing about everything.
What?
Sorry, that wasn't an anime, so Yoshi does not know what you were talking about.
Yeah.
That's okay. I get a lot of like random firings of my brain sometimes, so don't mind me.
That's okay. I don't get the majority of pop culture references. Most of them fly over my head.
Nothing goes over my head. I'm too fast.
Too fast, I would catch it. And here we have an example of irony.
Again, Toy Story 2 for PS1.
Toy Story 2 for PS1 for the movie tie-in game.
Yes.
That was a good one.
Somehow that did not come up in our like 30-minute discussion of movie tie-in games.
Small Soldiers was pretty fun.
I disagree, having played 10 minutes of that game.
I played through the demo at least, and I kind of enjoyed it.
I have the actual disc.
Okay.
I remember the Atlantis game not being too bad.
Oh, Aladdin. That's always held up as a classic.
Yes. Which one?
Sega Genesis.
Genesis. Super Nintendo. Fight!
Lion King as well.
Yeah, I had the Lion King on the Game Gear. I was just about to say that.
That's the version I have as well. I no longer have a Game Gear because it killed itself, but...
I've got a Game Gear, it just doesn't output any sound.
Yeah.
I can help with that.
I know a guy who can fix
this stuff heals.
Yeah.
You gonna be at the event in Chicago?
Yes.
I'll try to remember to bring my Game Gear.
Live modding sessions.
Realize the amount of equipment I'd have to bring to do that.
Yeah.
Live modding session would probably go over a little bit better than live shopping at Walmart.
I think I brought a plastic bag full of soldering equipment to fix Dean's Retron 5 at Milwaukee.
Hey, and if you want to go ahead and mod it for video output, that would make me extremely happy.
In a weekend.
We'll put Yoshi right in the corner. You can see, get to work.
No one puts Yoshi in the corner.
Put me in a
20 games
I just need to bring it in. If it takes him more than the weekend, fine. At least he has it to work on.
Yeah, you only have to ship it one way.
Exactly.
Hey, that does make everything cheaper.
Yeah.
I am going to try and get back in my lab soon, because kind of need to. For various reasons.
The driving sounds are a little bit drowning.
What happened? Oh.
Drowning out some audio here with the driving sounds.
Is it too loud?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, wait. I'll get off then.
I could just mute you for a moment.
Getting off of here while you're driving is probably safer.
Yeah.
Also that.
You're no fun.
I'll just mute there.
Because we care.
Yeah, see? There we
And
go.
also it's loud.
Yes. Also, yes.
I was going to look something up and I've completely forgotten what it was.
That's because it's too quiet.
Lost that level of background noise to get stuff done with.
I've been watching Star Trek while I do work lately.
Yeah. I'll just bring, a whole table worth of modding equipment and go set up in a corner of a hall. Just sit there and mod consoles all day.
There you go.
I'm sure that'll go over great.
I mean, that's the only console that I have that I can't really stream from. I mean, I've got the Game Boy Advance player for the GameCube, so that covers Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance. I've got the Retro Trio for a bunch of it, but I'm also not going to get a Retron 5 just for the privilege of playing Game Gear games.
I think I have one more TV kit here.
Cool.
And I have the prototype of the new controller board coming, because I went and redesigned it to reduce part count and a whole bunch of other stuff. Reduce part count, increase sampling speed, yada, yada, yada.
So the controller thing, that makes it so you can plug in an external controller?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Although some people were saying about 2-player, and my response is, you don't really need a board, you just need a new port. If you really want to, and plus, the only thing on a Game Gear that's even 2-player to begin with is, Master System games.
Right. Yeah.
And literally, why are you buying a consoleized Game Gear to play Master System games?
I bought the Power Base converter so I can play Master System games on my Retro Trio.
Well, the way I look at it is, if you're buying a consoleized Game Gear to play Master System games, you are spending way too much money on things you don't need.
Right.
That's the wrong way to do it. A Master System itself is much cheaper.
Well, not only that, but I've got this here, my Retro Trio, and then
those Power Bases are great.
The Power Base, yeah, and then Sega Master System game right on top. Works perfectly fine. I'd say the Retro Trio was 70, and the Power Base converter was like 50 or 60.
Yeah, those Retro Trios aren't that great, well built though.
It's not bad.
Which Retro Trio is it?
It's the Super Retro Trio. It's not the one that they recently redesigned with the HDMI.
Yeah, the new HDMI one of that is actually pretty decent. The local store near here stocks those. Okay. They actually sent them one of the prototype units to quite literally beat the hell out of it.
Nice.
So you know what it took to kill it? After months of abuse from customers and them and everybody else, and them basically not giving a shit about it, it was basically yanked off of a counter with the Super Nintendo game in it, and the Super Nintendo game hit the floor really hard. Like, it landed right on the game, so it screwed up the pens.
Oh, jeez.
So the only reason it's not working is they screwed up the cartridge pens, and the rest of the thing still works. So those things are surprisingly durable for cheap Chinese stuff.
Yeah, the only thing that I'm not really crazy about is the music on Sonic, Sonic game sounds a little weird.
The sound emulation on that whole machine sounded weird when I played it. Apparently,
Super Nintendo and NES seem pretty spot on though.
I think they fixed that in the newest HDMI ones. I don't know, but it's pretty easy for me to tell when the sound emulation's off.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to get sound emulation right. Heck, even I noticed, this is going to sound crazy, but I know when I was playing with some of the HDMI NES mods, I know I could instantly tell a difference in the sound between that and straight from the actual, mono out of a NES. Like, it didn't sound right.
Yeah. I'd love to get one of those FPGA things like the Analog NT or something like that.
Yeah, to me, the audio on that doesn't sound exactly quite right. But,
yeah, but I can play like 5 consoles right here on one device. So
yeah. Then again, basically what they're doing with the FPGAs is just rebuilding all the logic for the old console in one chip.
Yeah.
Which is, neat, but at the same time, not perfect.
Fair enough. I thought that was kind of like the most accurate people have been able to do, because they're basically recreating the logic from the original consoles.
But
Spider-Man 2!
Woo! There you go. Good call. Good pull.
But what they can't recreate is like the little hardware bugs and stuff that was in the original hardware that let it do certain things. You can't completely recreate all that stuff. So that's why there's slight incompatibility issues.
Well, there were slight incompatibility issues because of those programming bugs, even in like the Genesis Model 3. Like there were some games that didn't work on the Genesis Model 3 because they relied on bugs that were fixed from the original Genesis.
Yep. Good job, Sega. Sega's engineering decisions are like batshit crazy.
Yeah. Ah, there we go. I got that off of there.
Oh, just remember, if your Sega CD Model 1 stops working, open it up and spray a whole can of WD-40 inside.
That was hilarious.
And sandpaper all of the pins on your cartridges.
Yes. And then use glue to close it back up.
I think he's power washing some of the games.
Your old friend boiling hot water.
Boiling a cart, I think is that WWF cart.
You'll fool your friends.
And then was this that GameSec video that went up?
Yes. Yes. Watch it. It was very funny.
Yeah, they are actually one of my inspirations for starting to do YouTube. Because I like how they'll talk about a game and then they'll shut up for a few seconds and just let you watch the gameplay. Like, it's a small thing, but so many sites or so many YouTube channels just don't let you actually experience what the gameplay is like. They just keep talking over it.
Yeah, and listen to that music while I keep talking over this music.
Oh, dubstep.
Oh man, hold on. We gotta go over here, and now we gotta go check this chest, and then we gotta go cut down this crap, and like.
Yeah.
I've looked up gameplay videos for games. I'm just like, I just want to see what playing the game looks like.
Yeah.
Not your life story, dude. So I just click off and go find a different video. Joke's on me. All of the videos have commentary.
Yeah.
Oh, don't forget. You gotta like, comment, and subscribe.
You know, I do that mostly because I everybody else does it and people tell you to say it, and it's like, who doesn't know that by now?
There are people that forget to do it or just won't think of it unless you say it. But what does irk
just
me,
subscribe.
what does irk me is when people say it before they even get into the video. It's like, now before you watch anything that would convince you to do any of these things,
right?
At the start of the video, we're gonna ask you to like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, that's what will get me to just like go no and shut it off.
I mean, I think sometimes you get the value add at that point because they actually say, like, if you like content that focuses on this, this, and this, then you might be interested in subscribing. It's like, I guess if they're seeing that people aren't sticking around to the end of the video when they suggest that.
Yeah.
Of course not.
Self-destructo. I was watching that one the other day too, and I was kind of wincing at that. But man, that VIC-20 needed it. Oh man, was that thing in bad shape?
It was covered in oil.
Covered in oil, and then he in the one he released today, it was the part 2 where he finally finished it up. He pulled off some of the logic chips on the board, and there was oil underneath the logic chips.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Well,
the thing still worked.
You gotta take the whole thing apart, clean everything, put it back together.
Yeah.
Would saying this does not compute be a little too on the nose?
No, because it does. He got it working again.
I have a VIC-20 here. I figured out what was wrong with it. Dead ROM chip. I don't know.
It's a VIC-20, but that works too.
Huh?
I was going to say, what's wrong with it? It's a VIC-20, but that works too.
Yeah.
I'm just being a jerk, ignore me.
Hey, that's part of the issue with it is a VIC-20.
Mm.
Oh, well.
Dude, bury me with my Commodore. Thing is about the same age as me. Well, maybe a little bit younger.
Well, all I really need to do is figure out how to get that ROM I need on a new chip and hacked into the console somehow. Someday. It's code for it'll sit on a shelf for the next decade, and I'll never get there. See, this is what happens when you start repairing consoles. You end up with piles of dead consoles, and you're like, I don't know when the hell I'm ever going to get to these, but okay.
I've resurrected a couple, but they're usually not that broken to begin with. Like I had to do a lot of cleaning on my 64. Something got like poured on it at one point, so I had to do a lot of cleaning to get that up and running again.
People like to send me things that are like nightmares to work on. So I'm not accepting nightmares anymore.
What's that laser active module that you're working on or something?
I don't want to talk about that.
It's like 10 zillion caps you had to replace.
Yeah, I lost money on that, so I lost money and time. So yeah, I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, like to get a working Xbox running again, I found an Xbox at a Goodwill for $15 and grabbed that. And the DVD player in that one wasn't working, but the DVD player in the dead one I had was. So, and the one that I had, the hard drive had gotten corrupted. So I just swapped the working DVD drive into the one that had the working hard drive and back up and running.
Yeah.
My old Dreamcast is going to be a little tougher to fix.
I've got what I'm trying to do with my Xboxes right now, because I have 2 Xboxes that I'm like trying to offload. One of them has a bad disk drive, and the other one is soft modded. So unfortunately I can't trade in, like I can't take it to my local shop because they won't take a soft modded Xbox. So I thought about taking the bad disk drive, putting that on the soft modded one, and then having a functional one that I could trade in. Or I can find somebody to take them both for like $30, which is just a little bit less than what I would get trading them into the store.
The hard drives on Xboxes are not interchangeable.
Not hard drive. Disk.
Okay, the DVD drive. Got it.
Yeah. So take the non-working DVD drive, put it on the soft modded one so that someone could continue to soft mod it.
Well,
later, Q.
Depending on what hard disk CD drive is in your Xbox, you know, depending on what CD drive you have, the CD drive might be worth more than the Xbox.
Oh, sure. If it's a Thompson instead, right? I think that's the good one.
I'm not kidding. I've literally like ported out an Xbox and sold the CD drive for like more than you can sell an Xbox for.
Jeez.
Certainly a lot cheaper to ship.
That's true.
I think I've got a couple varieties of
drive, and I felt like I was ripping the guy off, but I'm like, okay, eBay.
Never know what people will want.
I know. I'm just looking for, at this point, it's like, I'm just looking for simplicity at this point. It's like, and finding, I don't want to leave too much on the table, but like, effectively, one of them either needs to be reflashed or taken the rest of the way, because it's not loaded with anything. I soft modded the BIOS and all that, and that's about it. I haven't gone through the process of loading it up with stuff.
I will say your retro shop's pretty smart for not taking that a modded Xbox, because if they did, you know, and Microsoft gets wind of it, you're gone. You will never get Microsoft stuff in your store again.
Jeez.
I'm not kidding with that.
A used original Xbox?
Yeah, if you we'll take in modded used original Xboxes and sell them knowingly.
Well, no, that's what he told me. He's like, if there were a bunch of games on this, I'd probably make a deal with you personally, not through the shop, is what the guy said to me. But there's nothing on there, so he's not compelled to do that.
Yeah.
So I know he's willing to. I know the one guy is willing to work something out if I wanted to fill up the 8 gigs of stuff that I could potentially put on there. But I don't want to go through the effort.
what, of slapping like the NES and the Super Nintendo and yada 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 libraries on there.
Yeah.
That was the emulation console for a while.
Wii's pretty good emulation console.
Wii's pretty good. I actually I've got 2 PS TVs, and so I've got one of them soft modded so I can use RetroArch on it.
You know what was a decent one, but really was kind of crap? PSP.
PSP was really good.
No, but the emulation on PSP was horrible though.
No, it isn't. It's pretty
No,
good.
it isn't.
Yeah, there's like no lag. It's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
The emulation on certain games is horrible. Other games
that depends on the ROM. That's the thing. Sometimes there's bad ROM sets that come with the bundle where if you download the whole ROM set, but that's just interchangeable. You just put it in there for a different ROM and it works pretty damn good.
No, I've had where I used the exact same ROM on like a bunch of different things. Like I tried it on my Wii, it worked on the Wii. Tried it on PSP, didn't work.
Yeah, but downloading a ROM from another website and then trying it. You know, don't just go to EMU because sometimes like they don't have the best ROMs. Especially EMU. Was it EMU?
Paradise?
Yeah, they don't have the best ROMs.
Of course, also, nothing would beat the PSP for PS1 emulation.
Yeah,
that is true. It depends, but it also does depend what you're trying to emulate. But once again, yes. I also noticed stuff like sound emulation and little video problems.
Well, because also Brave Fencer Musashi, I ripped that from the disc, converted it to the format that's supposed to work on the PSP, and it would crash after the intro scene every time.
Josh is in another Walmart?
Yeah.
See, this one he can trash because it's not his local one.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
I was going to get a water.
Oh.
First one wasn't good enough for him.
All right, guys.
No, we're at the gas station.
Have a good night, everybody.
Yep.
I will see you around.
Where
are you guys?
It's a gas station.
Gas station? Yeah.
What do you want? You want something? Wow.
Freaking Deadpool.
I'm just after that now. I'm wondering why have they not had Deadpool branded chimichangas? Why has that not been a thing?
They did the sandwiches. I don't know why they didn't do chimichangas.
I don't know. Maybe maybe the chimichanga company didn't want to pour themselves out to Deadpool.
Get a nice good money. Taco Bell or Chi-Chi's contract.
His catchphrase is essentially chimichanga.
Very flavor.
Get something.
I didn't know.
I'm aware. That's why I'm telling you.
There you go, Dr. Pepper. New flavor.
Oh.
Picking up some elixir of the gods there.
The question is, how many of you can name all 23 flavors in Dr. Pepper?
I
don't think any of you can. I can't.
Yeah, no.
Is Nope one of the flavors?
Hold on.
Leslie Nope?
Please tell me that's not $15.99 a bottle.
I think it is.
Jeez.
Bottle of what?
The 23 flavors are cola, cherry, licorice, amaretto, almond, vanilla, blackberry, apricot, blackberry.
You get a drink if you want.
Interesting.
Caramel, piper, anise, sarsaparilla, ginger, molasses, lemon, plum, orange, nutmeg, cardamom, allspice, coriander, juniper, birch, and prickly ash.
And yet it works.
I don't know.
Doesn't surprise me.
Sometimes I get too much prickly ash in my Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, what were they? Were they sitting there and I'm like, this needs some more prickly ash? I think.
You think prickly ass?
Ash.
Oh.
You know the 23 ingredients of Dr. Pepper.
My prickly ass is none of your concern. Bite my shiny, prickly ass.
I mean, my mind immediately went to Police Story, but that's because I watched that recently. That movie was mildly disappointing.
So I kind of get a kick out of it every time we're seeing one of the security cameras through the camera on his phone. It's like, is this like some sort of an Inception level thing going on? Yeah.
It'd be great to get that footage and cut that footage together with the Hangout.
We're gonna go. Hi.
You gonna go? Bye.
Also, I just gotta say, I made an anime reference and Yoshi completely missed it.
What?
You're too preoccupied with cardamom and
referring to Dr. Pepper as elixir of the gods. Steins Gate.
You know what's hard to find?
A reference you get?
My prickly ass.
Oh man, you guys are mean.
I understood that reference.
Trying to find, soda that's not high fructose corn syrup in a bottle.
I actually had some soda earlier tonight that was made with pure sugar, and I did not like it.
Really?
Yeah. It might have just been the brand too. It was a local to the Twin Cities brand where they it's this huge store where they have thousands of different kinds of soda, and then they've got their own house brand. And it was the house brand, and it basically it was grape, and it basically tasted like if someone had taken a grape slushy and melted it down.
I didn't know that's not what they did.
I don't know. Very well may have been.
I don't know.
The cap was also really easy to get off, so I don't know if that might have been part of it, but
I don't know if this is actually even still available or if it's available anywhere other than here. But I tried this more natural cola called Blue Sky, and it was really good. Unfortunately, I think it either got discontinued or it's just not carried at my grocery store anymore, which is unfortunate.
There's Jones, but that stuff gets expensive.
The what?
Jones.
I know what you said after that.
Real cane sugar soda?
Yeah, Jones is good.
Or real cane sugar.
Another good one if you are looking for like a better root beer, Dad's root beer is good.
I like Barks. And then I also have to
I hear it has bite.
It does. And I liked it for its bite before I realized that the bite was because it has caffeine in it. But I also have to obligatorily enjoy Sprecher because that's made here in Milwaukee. But it's also really good.
So Blue Sky is available. A case of, can't tell if this is a case of 4.
It's more expensive.
It says if it is, then this says that 4 of them costs $37.94.
Jesus, that is not correct. I was going to say like $2 for a can, maybe at most.
Man, that's cheaper than what I paid for some Iron Brew.
So this place called LuckyVitamin.com has 6 packs for $5.77. Normally $6.99.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
in cola, cherry, vanilla, cream, grape, orange, black cherry, Dr. Becker, ginger ale, and root beer.
Dr. Becker, that's awesome.
It's called Dr. Becker.
Yep, I've only had the cola and the root beer. I think I did try the ginger ale and it wasn't very good, but that was the only one that wasn't very good.
And I'm not joking. It is called Dr. Becker. Here we go. Dr. Becker right there.
That's amazing.
There was a the Soda Stream syrups had their own version of that too. And it was pretty amusing.
Everyone's got a little spin on it.
Yeah.
Like so Walmart has Hillbilly Holler instead of Mountain Dew.
I mean, Blue Sky is the only one that has like 100% more Ted Danson than the other ones.
It's true.
Ted Danson. Okay, yeah. So Iron Brew is $24 for a 6-pack of 16-ounce bottles. It's this orangish soda that's more popular in the UK than Pepsi.
Is that a challenge?
Well, yeah, it's like the most popular soft drink in the UK.
Okay.
And I had some friends...
being more popular than Pepsi.
Well, I mean, I think I get the impression that Coke's not as much of a competitor there. But I was hanging out on an online game about 10 years ago now, geez, with a bunch of Scottish soccer hooligans, and one of them sent me a bottle. It was pretty good, and I'm happy I can occasionally pick it up just on Amazon.
A random factoid that's probably only going to actually matter to Yoshi is I was surprised to find out that Coke products, unless they're like specifically claimed to have like milk in them, are all vegan. Just a random thing. I can still have Dr. Pepper, yay!
Sure, there's lots of things that are vegan that are, completely unhealthy for you.
Oh, absolutely. I'm just glad I can have that as a treat every now and again.
Yeah. Yeah. The only bad part is, I don't know if it's bad though, it's like, you're hungry more often when you're a vegetarian.
Well, I mean, that's kind of how herbivores work.
Yeah.
They just have to eat more often to keep the energy level up.
And more food. That just sounds like you're not eating enough.
Yeah.
That sounds like a you problem.
So just kind of figure out how to chew your cud, and you might be a little bit better off.
More of that Buddhist delight, huh?
No, man, I'm from Wisconsin. I know. It's a cow joke.
We have already established Yoshi does not get the simplest of references.
What's a reference? They make those?
I haven't seen that anime.
I didn't get to that season yet.
Yes. It's the one with the girl and the thing that with the sword.
You were there. You know, the guy who did the thing.
I mean, I'm just glad you said sword.
Well, I had to steer it back a little bit.
Yeah, pump the brakes.
Don't want to go
like this game I was playing.
What?
It could be like this game I was playing. Knights of Azure 2.
Yeah.
There's like not a single male character in the fucking game.
Isn't that pretty much the case with like Hyperdimension Neptunia also?
Probably.
Yeah.
That is the case with a lot of the Japanese like niche games coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're cool. It's a cool game, but it's like, huh? This is like what do you call it?
Generic beat 'em up, but also boobs.
Lots of Yuri
Oh, okay.
is basically what it boils down to. I'm like, this is like a Yuri with lots of plot, disguised as a
Are there air quotes around that plot statement?
yes.
You expect it, but doesn't matter.
Plot
I think we've gone too far down the anime reference hole.
Isn't that wonderful? How they do that?
I don't want to think any more about anime reference holes.
That's
I'm just trying to figure out what kind of Transformer this is.
Musty's in his happy place.
I was gonna try a reverse image search, but then I was like nervous about what reverse image search to select from the reverse image searches that are available.
The easiest way to tell if it's a Transformer or not is if it has the Autobot or Decepticon symbols on it.
I know it's not a Transformer. I'm just hoping I could take this picture and put it in and at least figure out what line it's from, or have like
anything it is.
Somebody with a name.
An actual GoBot or Transformer would have some sort of like Hasbro mark on it or something like that. And he said that there wasn't any sort of mark like that on there.
Yeah. There isn't. The one thing that I can see that's like, it almost looks like there's this little thing down here. See that?
Yeah.
That, I don't... It's on the underside. It almost looks like a... It looks like a Biohazard logo.
It almost looks like maybe one of the Maximal symbols that they had for Beast Wars, but that is clearly not a Beast Wars toy, nor is it a Maximal symbol. But like they have that kind of crystal thing.
Yeah. It doesn't come out. It's on the underside of the vehicle, and even when it's in robot mode, it's not visible. So I don't understand why it's there. But it has to mean something.
Probably a gimmick of some sort. Like, not an actual functional gimmick, but...
Yeah.
Have you asked Stephen yet?
What?
I asked, did he ask Stephen yet?
I guess I could message Steven, but
like, which toy did I buy?
I mean, it's got to have some similarities to others in the line, right? Like most G1 Transformers, you can kind of pick up on similar design influences, or like, right? Like you can be like, oh yeah, that's...
I mean, there are similarities to a couple Transformers I've seen, but we've already established it's not that.
It is not a Transformer. Yeah. I'm sure they wouldn't have sold it for $2.99 if it was.
It's Race Car-O.
That's right. It's Race Car spelled backwards.
Yep.
Oh, that was fun.
Welcome back.
And we're back.
And we're back.
Yeah.
I think we're well past the 3-hour mark at this point.
Are we? We're right at about there.
Is that how long these things go?
About.
I mean, we're not doing 6-hour deals like Paul used to do.
Well,
I must have blocked that out.
We used to do that?
He used to fire them up at like, it was like 6 o'clock Central Time. And they'd go on until like 2. Like
I think
he maxed out a couple of times, because the max live stream on this is, or the max like Google Hangout is 8 hours.
I think the cause of that might also have been that he was never there to shut it off.
Oh, there is that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, there's the fridge.
Yep.
That's a good point. But we did have some that were like 6 or 7 hours. I'm certain of that.
Yeah, probably.
And then there were a couple that ended up getting cut off or split into 3 streams. Or they ended up going to an after party.
Yeah, or being lost due to invasion.
Yes. These are things that happen.
Yep.
Which is why we aim to ensure that we have proper measures in place to prevent that from happening.
Yep. And a host that is actually at the controls. You don't have to just keep screaming out on Twitter going, shut it down, everything's on fire.
You message him, you're probably going to want to unlist that one now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
or there was the time, hold on, I want to reminisce for a second about the time he decided to show a full episode of Rocko's Modern Life.
That seems like a good decision.
Yeah, that didn't go.
Multiple episodes.
Was it multiple episodes? You just let it run? He had a baseball game going once.
Yeah.
And
then he got kicked off for copyright infringement.
Yep.
I think that would have been fine if it wasn't broadcast live. If it was a private hangout, that would have been fine.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. But yeah, it was broadcast live and archived.
Yeah, no.
That got shut down. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was on his last strike. Probably why he left. Not because he likes hockey so much, just because he was afraid of getting that third strike. Okay. Yeah, if you guys want to cut it, I'm good with cutting it. We have one person still here watching. It might be one of the three of us, but yeah, we'll be back next week. Same channel going forward. Spread the word. Let people know this is where the hangout is.
Nice to meet you guys.
Yep.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. Nice to have you on.
I met you once before, but
yes.
briefly.
Cool to talk elsewhere other than the Discord.
There you go.
Boom.
Also,
now we're gonna all sign on and go immediately to the Discord, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Self-Destructo, thanks for holding it out with us here, and we'll be back next week. Same rough time and all that, and then just keep an eye out on the tweets and the Discord and all that stuff. So
same musty time, same musty channel.
But not the same musty channel.
That is almost correct.
Almost. See, we need big neon signs that say, this is the channel. It's all right. Well, for the first time, I may actually just push this out tomorrow and be like, hey, guess what? You may have missed my hangout with these guys. I normally don't like to do that. Anyways, okay. We're just belaboring the point. See you guys next week.
Yep.
Thanks for hanging out. Bye.